hello, good morning. We'll just give it I think I start out every time with this. We'll just give the YouTubes a second. Hi, everybody. Good morning, friends. Good morning. Peggy, I love it. Oh, that was quick. There it is. There we are. Okay. Make sure we're not a little tippy there. I mean, let me just clarify that. I did not say let's make sure we're not a little tipsy. I'm not tipsy, although it's Saturday morning and you could be, I don't know, having brunch and having a mimosa or a Bloody Mary or something. Not me. Oh, that reminded me. Nick, can you hear me? Will you please bring me that mug? I forgot to bring that in. Hi guys, happy Saturday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Lael Concar. We have not met before, and on Saturdays when I'm not traveling, we're here on my YouTube channel. We are doing what I like to call creative listing. So a couple days before, I publish on my blog a couple of different listing topics, and Saturday mornings, we get together here and we play. So I work on my lists. I add lots of fun product. I get creative. I try things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. When they don't work, we talk about why it didn't work and what we could do to fix it, things like that. I have a business called Lael by Mail and website, laelbymail.com. On that website, you'll find lots and lots and lots of different products, many of which I will be using today. So in the description box of the video down below, you will see a link, and that link says what I'm using, and that will take you a page on my website, shows you what I'm using for today's session. So welcome. If you are new, especially welcome to you. Just so you know, there is a live chat that takes place as I am live. So you can participate in that chat, pop in and say hello. If you'd like to tell us where you're from, I would love that. It's really friendly community that we collectively, you guys and myself and Nick, have built over the, thank you, have built over the, you look like an uncle. Nick. Anyhow, that we built over the last 3 years, so 1,100 and something days now. Anyhow, so if you'd like to pop in and say hello in the chat, I would love that. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the chat now. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. And Scraft NH, Robin. Kelly said it's a great day to list. It's raining today, so let's talk weather, because we always talk weather, right? I live in Utah, in northern Utah. It is, oh my goodness, it's a spring like, well, we haven't seen since 1983, literally. We have had so much snow, and like the resorts, like 800 feet of 800, not 800 feet. That'd be a lot. 800 inches, which is still a lot, not 800 feet. And then it got very warm last week, which means there's lots of kind of flooding starting to happen. So it's kind of a crazy time here. We're fine where we live, but there are definitely others in the Salt Lake Valley that are getting affected, and it's very early in the season because there's still a lot of snow to come down. I read a very interesting statistic the other day. I know that Utah relies very heavily on the water, the snow runoff, the water runoff that is generated during the snow season. But I didn't realize that we rely at 95% of our water in Utah comes from the snow runoff. So that's very important to us. We've been in a huge drought for many, many years, and this season is definitely helping, but it's going to take a while, I guess, to before we come back, if we ever do, like lots of places here in the United States. I know there are lots of weather things happening all over the country. If you're in Florida, I hope you're safe with all the flooding that's taking place there. I think I saw there was a giant fire in New Jersey the other day. And then, of course, our friends in the Midwest, lots of tornadoes and things like that. And so just stay safe, and stay safe. Let's see, Wanda said it's 80 high in Tennessee today. Very good, nice and warm. We're probably going to be, I don't know, maybe in the 40s today, which crazy because last week, one day we were 80. The week before that, we had 2 feet of snow. So literally it is like Mother Nature's going through some kind of ups and downs like she always does this time of year for us in Utah. Mother Goose Librarian, hi Amy from upstate New York, where it has been high 80s. Right, I know, I watched the Today Show, and they're all wearing their little sleeveless tops and dresses and talking about how it's heat wave, and they're showing photos of, or footage, I guess, of people in Central Park just looking like they're having a lovely summertime, even though it's still spring. Michelle from Southern California. Hi, Joe Disney fan. And Mindy, sunny Oklahoma. Lisa, there was something in my inbox from you this morning. I don't remember what it is, but I remember seeing it. Kristen says all is calm in Indiana. That reminds me of a Christmas carol, right? All is calm. That also reminds me, Amy and I yesterday afternoon were kind of wrapping up all of the, I would say like the pre-design work, the initial design work for my next stamp release. And I bring up, this sounds like a Christmas carol because one of them is called Making a List. And it's kind of like the Santa making a list, checking it twice, but it really has nothing to do with Christmas. But yes, six new ones coming out again. So stay tuned in a little bit. Hi, Carla. Tina, 33 in North Dakota today. Holy moly. Shorts weather somewhere, Sarah said. 57 where she is, but blue skies, lovely. Yeah, it's this spring, right? Spring and fall in lots of parts of the US. We end up with high temps and low temps and then temps that are kind of all over the board. So whatever you're doing, whatever your weather's like today, thank you for joining me this morning and hang out for as long as you like. It's kind of like an open house. I'm here the whole time, but you can stroll in and kind of look around and whatever you'd like. Shirley from BC, from British Columbia. Nick was just up there recently doing a little skiing. Mother Goose Librarian said she hasn't watched last week, but were you able to talk about how you store your used traveler's notebooks? So I will talk a little bit about that because I have mine back again. So I will talk a little bit about that today. Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie said first time joining a live. Welcome. Glad that you could join today in a live. All right, friends, I think that we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, yes, Kathy, perfect. Yours is the last comment I saw. Thumbs up, please. If you are here watching, just super easy. Just click that little thumbs up button. That is a great way to support not only me, but anyone that you're watching on YouTube or really any of the socials. That's just a super easy way for you to support. So if you thumbs up, that would be awesome. Carol Lee, yes, I think Carol Lee and I were emailing again this morning as well. She is not far from me. She's also in Utah. Okay, so let's talk about a few housekeeping items. Number one, this is week 4 of 8 weeks in a row. That's a big, long stretch. I've been traveling a ton over the last year. So week 4 of 8 weeks in a row, and then I will be gone for 2 weeks. So I guess the easiest way to say it, I believe there's a link in the description box of the video below that has the listing schedule through the end of May. So as we start to get towards the end of April, then I will publish it for like June, July, and August. Although that I always say it's tentative because Nick and I have trips planned that we know about, but in the summertime, if we can sometimes get away for a quick little weekend in our RV, Harvey, which is in the driveway because Nick's doing a little work on it this morning. But yeah, anyway, tentative, okay, tentative. All right, so that was the first thing. This is the 4th of 8 weeks in a row. You want to mark the calendar, put it in your planner, save the date, wherever you write your things in your traveler's notebook, whatever it may be. Saturday, May 6th, right? Well, it's that first Saturday in May. I think it's the 6th, the 5th or the 6th. That is celebrated in the crafting community as International Scrapbooking Day. So that's what we do here. We scrapbook, we memory keep, we tell stories, whatever it is. We are using paper and sometimes other things to tell a story. And that is one word for it is scrapbooking. So on Saturday, that first Saturday in May, we will do another all-dayer here on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't done one of my all days before, it's you can just like today, but it's an all day, and there's lots of different things, tons of prizes. We'll be doing lists. Obviously, we'll be doing a few other things in different size traveler's notebooks as I try to catch up on some of my other type of documenting that I do in traveler's notebooks. And that is when I will reveal the brand new Listing with Lael idea book. Yes, so that will be here. I saw the first proof from the printer last week and made a few minor changes. I'm just waiting to see that second proof. And as soon as I receive that second proof, it's going to press. So very excited about that. Hi, Joy from Colorado visiting your son. Okay, we have a couple of prizes to give away. So every time that we're together, I do giveaways. And for the most part, they are giveaways that anyone can participate in. You don't have to be here watching live. And you participate in the giveaways by leaving a comment on the video when it's over. So not in the chat, but a comment on the video when it's over. So Saturday morning before we get started, I go back to the prior week's video and I do a random scroll and I just, wherever my finger stops, we had 2 giveaways last week, and so we have 2 winners. The first winner is, I already heard from her this morning, Louisa Mochizuki, maybe pronounced right, Louisa. Louisa won my, yes, I did double check. My brand new Willy alphabet stamp set, and this is a collaboration with my friend Christine of Pop Daisy Art. So we had planned a What's New Wednesday this past week to really, it would be Christine and I together. We'd be together on YouTube. We live in separate states, but technology lets us do that. She had a couple things come up, so that we'll just reschedule that at some point, but as soon as scheduling works, then we will do a What's New Wednesday live and go through all those new stamp sets. And you kind of get to learn a little bit more about Christine because she's pretty awesome. But anyhow, Louisa wins that brand new Willy alphabet stamp set, which I think I'm using that today. I'm using a couple today. All right, then the other prize goes to Judy W2647. And Judy wins kind of some of my tools that I always use when I'm stamping. And that little white rubber, right, block eraser, right? A white block eraser, and this is what I use to condition my stamps before I use them. I think the other thing, I've got to look. I don't remember if it was, I think it was this. I think it was the 2 acrylic stamping blocks, right? And then mine is, she does not win a used one because this is mine that I use, but a microfiber cloth, and that is what I use for drying my stamps, sometimes cleaning them too. So anyhow, those are our 2 winners, and I had responded to your comments, letting you know how to get in touch with me to claim your prize. Okay, friends. Nick, what's Nick saying? Nick's in here, I'm sure, just like chatting you guys all up. He always a comedian, right? Nick's my husband, if you don't know, always a comedian. He likes to pop in the chat. He also likes to claim that he's the brains behind everything. Nick has his own career. He's really nothing to do with I shouldn't say. It's not that he has nothing to do with my business. He is an amazing husband and he is very supportive. And he does a lot of things for me. But he likes to joke that he comes up with the listing topics and he buys all the product and he's the eye. He's got the eye, which I always keep threatening him. I'm like, okay, all right, let's put your money where your mouth is. If you really want to do that, let's have you come in and come up with some listing topics, and then let's put the camera on you and let's see you work and see how that goes. So yes, he always is the comedian. I don't know if he's still on or not, but yeah, he's the comedian. Okay, guys, I think we're going to rotate the camera and get going. Oh, actually, there's one more thing. I am looking for a person. I received this lovely, lovely, lovely mug in the mail this week. Look at that. You see what that says? Lists are my love language. If that is not like the perfect saying, that's the perfect sentiment for what I do and what a lot of you guys do. So I received this wonderful, wonderful, so thoughtful present in the mail this week, and I don't know who it's from. It didn't say who it was from. So I posted in the Facebook group. I didn't hear anything. If this was you, please, please, please reach out and let me know. Please send me an email, lailbymail@gmail.com, so I can properly thank you, because, oh my gosh, it came and I'm like, what is this? And I'm opening the box. Now, Nick will tell you, a lot of times things come and I'm like, what is this? Because I don't remember that I ordered them. I know for sure I did not order that because I'm like, oh, I love this. It's amazing. So I just don't know who it came from. And I would like to properly thank you if it's you. Hi, Carmen. Yes, Carmen is visiting Utah. Yeah, Sarah, Nick does not pick all the lists, right? Wouldn't that be funny? Hi, Terry. Nice to see you. Okay. I am going to, let's go ahead and flip the camera now. But if you were the one that sent me that lovely mug, please reach out and let me know. All right, I need a quick little hydration break before we flip the camera, okay? I know, Ms. L, isn't that awesome? Yes, and Judith, awesome, awesome, so cute. So thoughtful, so thoughtful. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's flip the camera. I will flip the camera and then we will turn on the lights so we can see. There we go. I mean, we can, ooh, golly, that's quite, sorry, I'm gonna move you guys around a bit. Sorry. Don't wanna make anyone sick while I do that, but things got a little skiwampus here. So my desk is totally clean. Well, my desktop is totally clean. I had it all set the other day and then had to put everything away because I had some neighbors over on Thursday night. We kind of have a group of, oh, Colleen, thank you. Yes, plugging in now. Kind of have a group of neighborhood ladies that we usually get together once a month, and it was my turn to host, usually once a year. It's your turn again, so it was my turn to host. And my craft room, which is the room that I work in when we do this, and it's the room that I work in when I'm designing projects or, project kits, things like that. It is at the very front of our house. So I think you've seen some pictures in the Facebook group of how messy it looks. Well, when you have people over, it kind of can't really look like that. Well, I guess it can, right? It can. I would prefer that it not look like that. So I had to totally clean everything. So kind of a clean desk this morning. All right, so usually when we start out on a Saturday, hang on, now create a money budgeting charm set, $, etc. I will, Nancy, I'll see what my options are for something like that. See what's available. Oh yes, usually when we start, we like to take a look at our lists from the prior week. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I should probably, I burned myself earlier this week. So that's what that nice little lovely decoration there is in my hand. I know, Denise, a burn. Look at you. You said that, I think, before as I was saying it. Yeah, a little burn. I could say that I was making my husband amazing dinner and I burned it in the oven, but alas, that would not be true because I don't cook. He does all the cooking. I burned it with the curling iron, right? I know, I still use the old school curling iron, and you would think by now, after, I don't know, 40 plus years of using a curling iron, that I would know not to do that, but you know what? Just kind of got in the way. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at our lists from last week. So this was one from last week, right? Right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, was it? I don't remember. This may have been the week before, but guess what? I'm going to talk about this one anyway because something came up in the Facebook group. Oh yeah, we did 4 lists. There we go. We did 4 lists last week. That's fine. Something came up in the Facebook group about this that I thought I would kind of talk to a little bit. Facebook group, if you're on Facebook and you're not part of the Lail by Mail Facebook group, just search in Facebook for Lail by Mail. You'll see a page and a group. The page only I can post on, but the group anyone can post in. So ask to be admitted to the group and I will let you in. Honeydew list. So honeydew list for me, honeydew, at least in the States, in the US, I don't know if this is the case in Canada or anywhere else in the world, you guys would have to tell me, but a honeydew is usually a term for, I guess it could be a spouse or a partner. I think that's generally what it is referred to as. So this is Nick's honeydew list. These are the things that the list I made for Nick of things that I would like to do him around the house. I would like for him to do for me around the house. So that is what my honeydew list was. Tabitha. So Tabitha had posted a alternate version of this in the Facebook group. Tabitha said, I don't have a honey, but I have a daughter. And so I made a daughter do list. So for her daughter, she made a list of things that kind of she would like for her daughter to do. And I loved this. Maybe it was Colleen. I don't know. Colleen, if it was you, I know you're here. You can chime in. But someone posted back and said, you know what? Honey does not have to mean a spouse or a partner. Honey could be a friend. Honey could be a child because your children are you're still your honeys. So you could use this honeydew list for really anyone in your life that you have affection for. So I thought that was a great example of some of the things that we see that go on in the Facebook group. Someone will post a list and then other people will comment. I mean, it's always good. No one's ever critiquing. But sometimes you guys will give really great feedback in the Facebook group, and I love that. So that was one of our lists, a honeydew. That was a really quick one. Oh, and there was definitely some controversy, right, Denise? Of if it's honey, H-O-N-E-Y, or honey, H-U-N-N-Y. I went back and forth on this, and I landed on the H-O-N-E-Y. I don't remember if I ended up with that when we were done or not. Okay, so that was one list. Next list. Let me just quickly talk about why I am moving forward. I just skipped a bunch of lists because when I had originally done this list on the left, I wasn't working on another single page list. I didn't have another single page list to do at the time. So I left this page blank, and I came back and added this list last week. And that's okay. This list was dated March 24th. Well, I did this list on the 8th, April 8th, but guess what? No one's going to care. It doesn't matter if it's out of order. It doesn't matter that I dated this one March. This could be a year from now, and I could just be filling in a blank space. So don't get too hung up on like where you're putting your list if you need to skip pages. All right, this was the first list we worked on last week, was life lessons. This was a fun one. We had a lot of chatting going on in the live chat about just different life lessons. For this one, I used, hang on, I wonder where that went. My glasses are dirty. I did some cleaning in here, and I can't find my glasses cleaning cloth, so hold on while I do this. I used the Flower Child collection from Jen Hadfield. Oh my goodness. I mean, I love this collection. I knew it as soon as I saw it that I loved it. I didn't know that you guys would love it as much as I did. I am already on my second order, and Carolee, I don't know if you saw my email. I will be placing a third order for Flower Child next week. So it's still in stock, but some of the numbers are getting low again, even though it literally just came in yesterday. So if you're looking at Flower Child, that's probably one that you don't want to wait, I don't know, too long on. But what I loved about it, it's very kind of retro. This floral pattern was so fun, kind of reminded us of maybe 60s wallpaper, 70s wallpaper, and we just had a lot of fun with that. And I used the Willy alphabet there. Kristen said she placed her order for Flower Child. Yeah, it's a really fun one. And it's one of those that's always good to have around because it's just a good kind of generic, right? It doesn't have a theme to it, so it works for a lot of different lists. The next one we did was in the news. So in the news for the month of March, in the news is a list that I do on a monthly basis where I'm just documenting some news, okay? For quite a while, I have received questions about where do I get all my news? Like, how do I keep track of all the news that's happening and what I want to put on my list or what have you? Maybe about a month ago, I added a post to the Facebook group of maybe like 10 or 12 different news sources. They are emails. So you can subscribe to the emails. They're free. And you can receive a daily email, or sometimes it's just a 5 days of the week email, just with like the news kind of headlines, news stories. Now, I really worked hard to provide a wide range of sources covering lots of different political spectrums. So CNN's on there, Fox is on there, NPR is on there. There are like 10 or 12 of them, but I don't subscribe to them all. Doesn't matter which ones I subscribe to, which ones you may subscribe to, but that is in a lot of cases where I get my news. That and the Today Show. I know that sounds silly, but I like the Today Show. So sometimes there's just headlines. I go, oh yeah, that's something I want to remember and add to in the news. This is another thing that I wanted to bring up. In the comments for the video for last week, someone left a comment and said, I'm so glad that you showed an idea with the library card stamp. So I used my library card stamp to stamp these two library cards and then used the typewriter in the new stamp set to create a pocket. So these little guys are in the pocket. If you don't know, and this is part of the comment that I left back, is that in addition to like showing you how I use some of my products during our Saturday lives, all of my products, my Lail by Mail branded products on my website will not only show you the product, but show you different examples of how to use them. So if you were looking at the library card stamp, for example, and you went to the website, you would see probably 5 or 6 photos in addition to the stamp set of different ways or different ways that they've been used. So if you didn't know that, now you know. All right. Yeah, so in the news, and that's one of the things when we do in the news, if you haven't been with me before, you haven't seen us do this list, it is very important to me that this whole, when we do this list, stays very, let's say maybe agnostic from a political viewpoint. So when I'm talking, all I do is say the facts. Like Alex Murdaugh was found guilty of murdering his wife and son. I do not add anything else in my chit chat other than that, because that can be controversial. You have the Silicon Valley bank collapse. You had the mass shooting in Nashville at a school. You had former President Trump was arraigned. So all of those things can be very polarizing. We do not go there here. All I do is say, oh, Yosemite National Park was closed indefinitely due to snow. Now, we'd think that might not be controversial, but maybe it is controversial to somebody. So all it is the facts, and we do a really good job of not getting political in the chat as well, because nobody comes here on a Saturday for that, right? There are many other places you can go for that, and you guys we've never had a problem with that, but I always just like to kind of mention that. The last list that we did last Saturday was a list that I called Today Looks Like This. And it's basically just a snapshot of one day in a month. And I do this list once a month. So this was April 5th. And there you go. I always use the same 3 products. The 2023 month die cuts, the chipboard, the Cocoa chipboard numbers, and the Today Looks Like This 4x6 paper pad. So those are all things that you can find on my website. All right, so that takes us to our first list for today. Carmen, I love that. Carmen said, I love that this group is a loving, safe space. Kathy, Leola, Switzerland. Well, you know what? I try to be. I think in my life, personally, I'm not a very, I don't think I'm a very controversial or like polarizing person. I try to play pretty middle of the road just because I don't like conflict. But for my business, to me, it's very important that we're paper crafting, we're telling stories, we're having fun. There is no place here for anything that's polarizing, hopefully. I don't know, maybe polarizing to you is that I use lemons and black, and that's horribly polarizing, but that kind of polarization I can deal with. All right, let's go. So our first list that we're going to do today is called Currently. Currently, I have done this list. I usually like to try to do this list every couple of months, because I think it is a great way to, hang on, there we go. I think it is a great way to just document. It's kind of like a snapshot. Whereas this is a snapshot of a day. Maybe your currently is a snapshot. It could be, if you could do it weekly, you could do it monthly, you could do it quarterly, you could do it annually, whatever it is. But it is a really easy way to document kind of what you're doing. A lot of you know me from scrapbooking, right? Over the years, I've taught lots of scrapbook classes, both in person and the last 3 years virtually. But a lot of you know me from that, where we're adding photos and we're telling our stories. And I know a lot of you tell me that you really don't like to journal on any of your scrapbooking. You don't like to journal. You don't like to write. You don't like to put your feelings out there, or you don't feel like you're Ernest Hemingway, so you don't want to have to describe the beach scene of the photo that you've taken with your grandchild playing in the sand. But you still want to get the memories down. Well, what we do, listing, is a very easy, I think, non-stressful way, because you don't have to worry about wording things. You're literally just making lists. So currently is a great way to do that, to kind of document what's happening with you, or document really what's happening with anyone in your life. If you think of little babies, whether they're yours or their grandkids or nieces or nephews, or maybe you have friends with babies or children, a currently is a great way to document their kind of growth. So when they're 6 months old, what are they They're not reading, maybe, but you're reading to them, right? So you could say what you're reading to them, what they're enjoying, what they're liking, what they're disliking, what they're eating, what they're drinking, what they're trying, things like that. And you could do that over the different years of their life. I remember when our boys were both little, I did that quite a bit, just because they changed so much in those first couple of years of their lives in terms of what they're eating and drinking and playing and doing and liking and disliking and all that. So a currently typed sound set is a really great way to do something just like that. Wanda said she just did a currently page this morning. Wonderful. Okay, so we are going to use the Gingham Garden collection for this list. And that is here in my little storage bin. I'm going to cheat a little bit, although I'm not going to cheat because I said I was going to do this. When we were all together when I was here on our last all-dayer, which was my 3-year anniversary on March, 23rd or whatever. One of the things that I did towards the end of the day, I did kind of a little like tips, tricks, and techniques about layering. And because I'd had a lot of questions about like, I can't layer, how do I layer? I get stuck with layering, how do I know what goes where and all of that. So if you struggle with that, or you just want to learn a little bit more about layering, if you go to that video here on my YouTube channel, that was this part 2 on the 23rd. Towards the end, I do a whole kind of thing about layering. And this was what I created as we kind of went through what kind of pieces to put together, colors, patterns, shapes, sizes, things touching, not touching, all of that. So this is what we created. So I said, well, I'm going to use this for something. I will use this for a list. So I am going to use this as the right side of my currently list. So there we go. Sometimes if you don't really feel like, maybe you just want to do something really small. Maybe you don't want to get all your stuff out. You absolutely could do something like this. Grab some of your pieces and get some things prepped like this. Because if you don't have time, or you don't want to get really deep into a project, but you still want to be creative and play, do something like this. Get something ready so that when you are ready to sit down and work and make a list or a scrapbook page or journal or whatever it is you want to do, you kind of are already started. So that's what we're doing here. I'm just going to add a little bit more. I'm adding, a little bit more adhesive because I used this for a photo for something different in the idea book. So I need to pull that. I had to pull it back off. And now here it is. Hi, Heidi. Good morning. Storage boxes. Yeah. These storage boxes, you guys, I think like a lot of us, we like to organize our things and reorganize and try to find the perfect things at that moment in time, right? Because we all know that changes as well. But I've been using these little storage boxes for the last, maybe 4 or 5 months. They are linked in the description box of the video. I do not sell them, but they fit like your 8.5 by 11 things. So these definitely wouldn't fit your 12 by 12 papers unless you trim them down. But this is what I use to store all my collections. So here we go. There's Gingham Garden, and they all just fit on my, I'll just show you because, let me show you right here. I'm going to flip the camera really quick. Flip really quick. Right there. See that? See how they're all just lined up right in there? And then that one, see how they're all just lined up right in there? This is my little Kallyx Expedit Ikea unit, which hopefully won't be around much longer because we are having designs drawn up and bids done right now to have my whole craft room redone because it's not really working for what I need. But anyhow, it will still have something like that behind me so that I can store my things because I need them right there. Anyhow, those things are linked in the description box of the video. Alrighty, so here is my right page, and like I said, I had used Gingham Garden on that, so I need to, let me shuffle some things here. I need to now find some things for the opposite side of my list. Now, normally when I do a currently, I adhere directly on my insert. I just have to stop. Allison Kimball, I am so happy to see you here, my friend. I love it, love it, love it. I love you, love you, love you, friend. Really quick, Allison and I met, oh my goodness, I want to say probably 24 years ago. She and I met at a scrapbook store. I had just met my friend Jesse Stringham, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months earlier. And we went to a scrapbook store on a Friday night and we were cropping. We were like working in our scrapbooks and there were some other women there. This is what a small world this is. There were some other women there, didn't know any of them. And Allison was, over at one corner or something. And we all just started talking. And then here we are still friends that many years later, which I love, love, love. Another person that was there is Amy. And I don't know how to say her last name. I can never pronounce her last name. But any of you guys that know the Stamp Market, the company, the Stamp Market, they do amazing. She does amazing stamps and inks and all kinds of things, dyes. But Amy was there too. And you guys, this is like 25 years ago. So Allison, I'm so happy to see you here. And Allison, one of the list topics today is from you, my friend. Okay, here we go. So currently, I am not going to put a piece of paper, pattern paper down here first for my list because all of the little prompts that I have, it helps me if I can stamp them on the lines and then write on the lines. So I will not put a piece of pattern paper here, but I do know I need to get something going over here, right? There's tons of color and pattern here and there's not much over here. So I better figure out how I'm going to add a little bit of pattern to this side so it doesn't look so like off balance, right? So let's see what we have. And these are just things I'm pulling off of the top of whatever my little thing here. A little dream. That doesn't work, but you know what? This could work maybe there because it's subtle. This is from the Papery pack from Gingham Garden. So that is a little like piece of vellum, printed vellum. That might be fun there. We've got all those little guys. Those would be fun to work in there maybe a little bit. The puffy stickers. I know I don't need the paper, the pattern paper. Oh, there's loads. So you know what maybe we should do? I think we might use this one, but maybe we'll just take advantage of the sticker book because the sticker book is going to have smaller stickers for me that would then work their way in like that. I love that rainbow. In fact, I think we might just need to work that rainbow in right now. And maybe this, let's look. Deborah said, oh, let's look. Deborah said there's great ledger paper in here. Let's see, in this one. I'm looking. Oh, that one. You know, that could work, right? So let's see. Thank you, Deborah, for bringing that up. That could work. The only thing is, let's see. Let's speak proper English, Lael. For, not fur. That's a Utah thing. It might work if looks like they'll be a little bit larger, but let's try it. Because I like it. I think it's fun. And then that would help to kind of bring both sides together a little bit more. So let's get out our trimmer. You guys are good. You know me. You can always suggest. Sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I will try it. And then other times I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Thanks for just suggesting, but that's not me. I'm not going to do it. The size of that, you guys, it is going to be, so it is probably 13 wide by, maybe 11 and a half. But it definitely does not fit 12 by 12. Your containers that fit 12 by 12 are more like 13 and a half by 13 and a half, and they're pretty thick. They're about 2 inches thick. All right. Easiest way, you'll find the link in the description box of the video. Then you can see what they are, and then that would for sure tell you that dimension. Okay, so I pulled that out of the 6x8 pad, and I need to trim this to 4 3/4. So I always trim to 4 3/4. What the heck is going on there? Why isn't that trimmers my nemesis? I have lots of trimmers, friends. And I have a brand new one that I'm really liking. It's the new Tim Holtz trimmer. It's just a little bit bigger. It's big, so when I try to work in a space like this, it's kind of hard to bring the trimmer in and out as we're working. So that's why I don't have that one out. All right, there we go. I think I'm going to like this. And I'm not going to get distracted by all of those words. That's just a design. Just as I would not get distracted by all of this, that's just a design. This is just a background for me to work on, all right? So let's color. Normally, I think I would probably use, and actually I'm going to do something else, I think. To try to bring these two pages a little bit more together, I am going to, I think, ink the edges. I think if I ink the edges of that, I think fossilized amber will be the color. That's probably pretty close to that. But that will also help to bring those two a little bit closer together. Somebody asked me, as we're talking about ink, somebody asked me to bring in some purples. I did. I just couldn't remember. I couldn't find it in my email. So if that was you, there are purples now. I think I brought in 4 or 5 different purple distress oxides. Fossilized amber. The answer is always fossilized amber. It always, I mean, I use this one all the time. All right, so, let's get what we need. I am grabbing my little foam dauber here. Those are my storage containers for my little foams, and those are on my website. But I am just taking the little handle and the little domed foam, and I'm just coming in, and actually I'm going to trim the top of that off just a tad. The pads, the American Crafts pads, I should say, are perforated at the top. Oh, no, Mr. Bill. Well, let's talk about what just happened here. I must have had a piece of paper stuck in on the blade, because look at what it just did. It just totally butchered that. Normally what I would do is I'd go, oh, no problem. I'll just trim that little part off. I am not going to trim that little part off, because I would trim off the top half of those words, and then I think that would kind of look funny. So I'm going to, for now, I can still use that for something else later. Like if I wanted to distress the whole piece, I am going to go back to the pad and grab my, I did, Allison, curling iron burn. So bad, right? So bad. It actually, I think I did it on Monday, and it just, you know, it's to the part where it kind of starts to scab a little bit. It just is not looking very good right now. That's the hard part about using your hands, like what I do here. Everybody sees what happens. Everybody sees like what happens, especially if I accidentally burn myself, or if I accidentally take a chunk out of one of my cuticles, which I also did here. So just let's not look too closely at my hands today, okay? Okay. What is going on? All right, Lael, I'm doing the same thing again. Maybe it's because it's just so small. It is so small. Okay, I'm ditching this guy. I probably need a new blade. So let's get rid of him and find one of the other 112 trimmers that I have. Let's try this guy. This is the new one. This is the new one. So if I was going for a distressed look, this would be great, right? But I'm really not going for a distressed look. So there we go. Nice and clean-ish. It's fine. It's fine. No one's gonna know. If I now bring in my little inking the edges again, that will totally clean that up. All right, there we go. So earlier when I was saying sometimes we do things and they don't work out, and then we, oops, I need to trim this. Sometimes we do things and they don't work out, and then we talk through why they didn't work out, and we talk through what we could do to fix it. In that case, all I did was trim it down a little bit more. And then inking the edges is also going to help. Inking the edges of things is a great way to cover up any kind of little miscuts or jagged edges or something like that. But sometimes you might actually want to distress the edges of your paper. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. You can do that on accident, like I did with the trimmer, or you can use a paper distresser. Tim Holtz makes a paper distresser that I just brought those in. But you can even use the edge of your scissors to do it. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's say I have this piece, and if I wanted to do that, I could just use the edge of my scissor and just kind of roughen up the edge. So sometimes you want to have a little bit more of a distressed look for the edge, then you could do that. In that case, I really didn't want to go with that. All right, so there we go. Now having that over here, that just helps to, inking the edges just helps to kind of bring those two pages together a little bit more. Do you agree? I think so. I think so. Okay, let's keep that, my colors, my swatches out for a second, because I think I might stamp my currently in a different color. Need to pull this off and put it away. I'd had quite a few requests for different insert sheets for these. So now they're the Distress Inks, Distress Oxides, I did Stamp Market, I did Gina K, I don't remember. There's quite a few in there. But if there's one that you need and I don't have it, just tell me and I can make it. All right, so now I was thinking about this little guy, these little, I think I like that because that will help to kind of tie those two pages together as well, right? Because we have butterfly over here, we have those rainbow colors here, we have rainbow colors here. So I think that will work. This is washi from Gingham Garden. Let's see. All right, there we go. Now for my title, Stamping Currently. I think I might like to use pink. So let's see what we might find for pink. I have swatched all of my inks using my Swatch This Inks stamp, my Swatch This Ink stamp set. So that's what I've done here. There is a new stamp coming that is a mini version of Swatch This Inks. So the little mini, like the little mini cube size and the little mini rectangle size. For those of you that that's never anything I would have thought of, but I had enough requests of people saying, hey, we would really like it if you had the small little ink stamps too. And I said, okay, spun sugar, maybe. It might be spun sugar. So let me find spun sugar here and we'll see if we like it. The benefit of swatching your inks. Sorry that my back is to you, I'm just looking. The benefit of swatching your inks is so that you can very easily thumb through your colors and go, oh, saltwater taffy might work, instead of either having to get all of these out. The other thing that you find is you don't have, it's not really exact. Some colors are better than others in terms of trying to get a feel for the cover by looking at the top of the lid. But this one is, I think, much more pigmented on the lid than it actually is in real life. And you'll see that in some cases it's a lot more obvious. So swatching, I think, is helpful. I am going to, normally I would probably go ahead and just adhere this right now and start my stamping. And I would use my, my pencil board, so the little flat surface that goes underneath a page so you can stamp easily without your stamped image being affected by what's behind it. So that would be that. Pencil board, it would go right here. And then as I'm stamping, my stamped impression isn't getting all messed up because it's hitting that or hitting that. But I think what I'm going to do here, because I have so much stamping to do with all those little prompts, I'm going to continue to work on this list off the page. So off the page like this. And then when I get it done, I will adhere it into my insert. Okay, let's say, Wanda, I want to make a traveler's notebook, a back in the day list. If I can remember the things, because I didn't know about this stuff back in the day. Back in the day. I'm not sure that I'm like catching what you're putting down. I'm sure it makes sense, but my mind right now is not getting it. All right, so I need, good morning, Cindy. Here's currently, and I need my stamping block. Let's try that one. Currently, all right. So I'm gonna do something very quickly. The back of that is not very sticky, okay? The back of that stamp is not very sticky. We want it to be sticky so it sticks to the stamping block, right? I can feel that the front of it is, but I can feel it. There's like some lint, little fuzz and lint on the back of, actually I don't want to use that, on the back of that stamp. I'm going to use my microfiber cloth and it's not going to leave any extra fuzz. So I just have a little bit of water in my spray bottle there, and I'm using a microfiber cloth to clean off the back side of that stamp. Your stamps, no matter how well you store them, how clean they are, how clean you try to keep them, how quickly you put them away after you've used them, inevitably you're going to get lint and fuzz, dust, whatever, on the back of your stamp, and it won't stick to the acetate sheet, and it also won't stick to your stamping block, or it may not stick very well when that's happening. So just grab a damp cloth and wipe it off and it'll be good. Deborah, yes, I absolutely will test it first because I want to make sure that, that I like it. And then also there's no little fuzz on there. I do not need to condition the stamp. I have used this stamp quite a bit. It's already conditioned. So I won't talk about conditioning. I may talk about conditioning later if we get to a stamp that I haven't conditioned yet. So just kind of put a little bookmark in that to think about that. I have a feeling that I am going to need to come back and clean this. So let's just see. I may not have cleaned it very well before I put it away last time. All right, I'm getting that nice and inked up, right? I want that nice and inked up. And I am testing it. I am a firm believer in testing, obviously, before you stamp. Because you want to make sure you like the color. If you're using alpha stamps, you want to make sure it's spelled correctly. You want to make sure that things are straight, lined up. You also want to make sure you don't have any little stray hairs or fibers or lint or something on your stamp itself, because if you do, your stamp impression won't maybe look as nice as you would like it to. All right, I think that looks good. I like it, I like it, I like it. I was a little bit worried because I can see a little bit of black on my, on the actual stamp itself, on the photopolymer. And it is just the stamp itself is stained. It's not affecting, you saw that, it is not affecting my stamped image. It's not affecting the result, but I was a little worried that that was going to happen, but that I hadn't cleaned it well enough, but it's good. Do I re-ink my Tim Holtz stamp pads or just buy new ones? I'm at a crossroads. Lisa, I'm not there yet. I am not there yet. I have not had to re-ink any yet. You can either buy re-inkers or you can buy new pads. It's kind of up to you. I don't really have an opinion on that yet because I'm not there yet. And to be honest with you, just because I have my own website, I will probably just get a new pad when it comes to that for me, just because then I don't have to have all the re-inkers. I'm not saying that you shouldn't re-ink. I am just saying that Deborah would like me to try saltwater taffy. I think I'm going to go with this one, Deborah, just for the sake of easiness, since I already have this one all stamped up. Saltwater taffy would give me a little bit more color, right? It's a little bit more saturated look. All right, so let's go here. Where do we want this? I think we can go currently. Right here. Let's see what we got. Hi, Rena from Montana. Driving in the car? Well, Jeff is driving, not Rena, so that's good. Highly recommend that you do not drive and watch at the same time if you are the driver. That's not safe. Good morning, Jennifer. Happy Saturday. All right, here we go. So make sure we have that. Feel like it's nice, and I think we've got a nice, good impression. There we go. So pretty subtle, right? It's pretty subtle. I will add something kind of in here to decorate, I think, as we get closer to being done. But as we put that side by side, the currently kind of blends in or coordinates with the pink here and the pink here. But I just as well could have used saltwater taffy, which Deborah was suggesting, saltwater taffy. So saltwater taffy would have kind of brought this color down here at the bottom and a little bit more. Alrighty, so now we need to do our little outlining. Hi, Joanne. There's no such thing as late to the party here. There is no such thing as late to the party. You come and go. Alrighty. Okay, there's our little outlining. Now, I need to take a look at my list in my handy dandy notebook because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had picked, well, when I was making my mental list on paper this morning, 10 things. So let us see how that will work. I think I'm going to need, hi Jen, I think I'm going to need probably 2 lines for each prompt, watching, reading, eating, whatever, because those are pretty thin. So if I count all the lines, I would probably start here. I wouldn't start up there at the top. I'd probably start there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So I think probably what I will do is maybe I'll do every 3 lines so I can have like a blank line in between. I used a pencil there, so now I can, oopsie, what did I have on there? Why? What is happening? Why are those not erasing, friends? That was a pencil. Had I like put it in ink or something? Oh, Lael, why would I do that? Does anyone know why I would have done that? Here is a little public service announcement. Don't ever, for some reason, put ink on the tip of your pencil. Okay? Because look it. There, it's fine. I just broke the lead off. There, I don't know what I had done, but somehow, you know what? Denise, you were 100% right. Look at ink. I have ink at the bottom of there. And that is what happened. I got to clean that out because that's what happened. That's how my pencil got ink in the bottom of it. Alrighty. So now it's okay. We're not going to panic. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. Use my sand eraser. Kathy. All right. Let's see. I'm not sure what a sand eraser is. Is it this? Is this a sand eraser? I don't know. This is what I normally use to get like gunk off of things. Yeah, I don't know what a sand eraser is. Why, Leo? Why did I do that? Okay, well, we're not going to panic. It's not the end of the world. It is what it is. So we're going to work with it. We are going to work on it. All right. We're going to work with it, not on it. So we'll start here and then we'll go. All right, we're just going to do it. We're just going to start. We'll make it work. Okay. The first one is reading. What I am currently reading. Denise said she doesn't put her pencil in her holder, or you could do this and then push the lead down and then, but yeah, I got to deal with that one. Yeah, I don't know what a sand eraser is. I'm gonna have to look into a sand eraser. Okay. Let me get I need a little stamping block. I don't want to even use something that small. I want to be smaller. Because, let me use this guy. because there we go. So if reading goes right there, I think I'm going to go in between the lines. Maybe that will help us. I will use black because I have black over here. I will use my black ink. Now I'm just a little discombobulated about my little pencil markings. Mono sand eraser. Okay, I'm gonna look. Oh, that's a good idea, or put it upside down. I'm going to look for the Monos Sand Eraser by Tombow. All right, so here we go. We've got to test it first. Always, always, always test, okay? Always test. Reading, that looks good. So we'll come back here and we will do our reading. We want to go right here. I will try to pick up the little dot maybe every time if I can. Okay, there's reading. And then let's do what we're reading. And then this is gonna be a little bit back and forth cleaning every time, but that's what it is. All right, reading. I am currently reading. I have read it before, but many years ago. I did Designs by Janie Marie. Excited that you caught us live again as well. All right, reading. Currently reading the 5 love languages. The 5 love languages. Nick has read that as well. So I am rereading it. It is a fascinating nonfiction about how people have different love languages. And so you may show your love to someone by words of affirmation. And another person may show their love to you by acts of kindness. And if you are not, if you know that people love you by words of affirmation, and if someone's not giving you words of affirmation, they're giving you acts of kindness instead, then you may not feel as loved as you want to feel. So that's just a very quick rundown. But I think it's a good book. I think it's a good book for anyone that's in a relationship to read. So that's what I'm reading, the 5 love languages. Nick's love language is 100% acts of kindness. Denise said, why don't I use the Misty to line and stamp at once? I could, Denise. I could get it out and line everything up, but I'll just keep doing it this way. Reading, eating. So, there it is, reading. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened to my loving. Reading, eating. Here we go. Eating. I am currently eating, not currently this minute, but butternut squash soup, which is very good. Ms. L just said something I think is worth repeating. Let me go down 1, 2, 3 lines. We'll just kind of go right here. We'll just make all this work. Currently eating butternut squash soup. It is very good. Homemade butternut squash soup. Oh, whoops. Golly, I almost got different words in there than I wanted to get in. Ms. L said, I bought the black VersaFine Clair ink pad. Wow, what a difference it makes in my stamping. That is the ink, the black, that I use almost exclusively because it's just really good. So that one I have on my website. But Ms. L, I would have to agree with you 100%. 100%. The Misty is, I think it's linked in the description box of the video, Wanda. I think I have it linked in the description box of the video. All right. Eating. What are you guys eating? What are you guys reading? Even if you are not listing with us, chime in the chat because I would love to know. Reading, eating. What I am, drinking. Drinking. Yeah, it's my favorite. Drinking. I'm not saying my favorite is drinking. I'm saying that what I'm drinking is my favorite. And I don't know, Nick and I were on Saturday mornings, we're drinking our coffee and we're chit-chatting. He said, so what are your lists today? Oh my goodness, I almost dropped that twice. What are your lists today? So we were chatting about that. I'm like, and then eating, drinking, we're talking about that. And I said, Oh yeah, I'm drinking Mayomi. And he goes, you need to say drinking Mayomi again. Because that's always, I think, what I put. But I love Mayomi. Mayomi, it's red wine. Again. Again. I like the Mayomi. I'm very much a creature of habit. So, Julie is reading Love Marriage, drinking a coconut latte. Love Marriage. What's Love Marriage? Jesse, have you read Love Marriage? Oh, look at all these books. I'm reading The Gifts and The Last Year of the War. Tina's reading and listening. Wanda's eating lots of fruit. Doesn't read very much. That is A-okay. Leaders eat last. Ooh. Readers eat last. Leaders eat last, not readers. That sounds fascinating. Nancy's eating a lot of melon. Jailhouse Lawyer. Look at all these great books that we're hearing. I love it. Drinking. So next up, playing. What am I playing? Nick and I are playing lots of gin and backgammon. Gin and the London Seance Society. I think I've heard of that one before. John? I think I want to say I've heard of that one before, maybe. Oh my goodness. Louisa is currently reading the Bible. That is a big read, Louisa. That is a big read. Good for you. All right, playing. So, I like to play games. Now, I like to play I mean like physical games, not mental games. I don't like to play mental games. Nobody likes playing mental games. Well, I don't know. Some people do, not me. Playing gin and backgammon. So, we try to, if we can ever be on, okay, that didn't sound right. If we can be on the same page, wow, that sounded really bad. I promise you, Nick and I are not having problems in our marriage. If it seems like, sometimes you just get it's so easy to just sit in front of the couch and watch something on TV. So try to, a couple nights a week, instead of doing that, play a game, gin, backgammon, something like that. Planning. We are currently planning. Well, it's really pretty much all already planned. I just need to make 2 more not reservations. All the reservations made for our trip to Europe, but I need to get tickets to one of the museums in Amsterdam, and then also the Anne Frank House. So all those things are very good to get tickets ahead of time, so you're not standing in line or running out of, or they run out of tickets and then you can't get in, which would be sad. Hi, Linda. Oh my goodness. Okay, Deborah, I have no idea. I don't know what that is. Deborah said, more seriously, reading on the 8th day about praying through the liturgical year. I don't know what a liturgical year is. Eating factor meals. I don't know what that is either. Okay. Louisa said, I have such a sweet relationship with Nick. It's pretty good. I mean, it's good. No, I shouldn't say pretty good. It's good. It is good. We've been married 28 years next month. Planning. We're currently planning our trip to Europe, which is the redo of our 25th anniversary trip, which was supposed to take place May of 2020. And we all know what was going on May of 2020. So this is now our reworked 28th anniversary trip. All right, so that is planning. And then we have watching. Okay, watching. What are we watching, guys? Roomy Cube. Peggy, we love Roomy Cube, although this is really funny. When Nick and I first got married, we're both pretty competitive. Yeah, we're both pretty competitive. We were playing Roomy Cube, which is like a gin rummy that you play with little tiles, if you guys don't know. We were playing Roomy Cube, and I was kicking Nick's behind. And he's like, there's no skill to this. It's all luck. There's no skill. And I'm like, really? If there's no skill, then why do I keep winning? You just are that unlucky. And he got so mad, he picked up the little board and threw the tiles across the room. And I never let him forget that. That is very uncharacteristic of him. Very uncharacteristic of him. So I don't let him forget it. Although I shouldn't be one of those people that doesn't let somebody forget it, but it's always in a joking manner, right? So watching Succession and You. Both very different. Succession is, well, they're both quite fascinating. Drama. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is, I know, can't wait till the last one, right? It's the last one, but can't wait till that last one comes out. Feeling, all right, we're going to be real here. I am feeling extremely unhealthy. Extremely unhealthy. My way of coping with stress, because I know it doesn't sound like it. I know you guys are like, really? How could this be stressful? This is not stressful. This is amazing. This is totally not stressful for me. But running your own business can be very stressful. It's a lot. It is a lot. And so I sometimes put too much on myself, and I'm very competitive with myself. And so, I have not, I know what I was going to say. So stress. And my stress is associated with eating. That's how sometimes I deal with my stress. So I am feeling extremely unhealthy right now. And it is what it is until I make it a priority, which needs to happen. So feeling unhealthy. Wah, wah. But that's okay. We're keeping it real, right? We are keeping it real. Louisa, I hope that your husband is doing all right and recovering. You've been watching reruns of Law & Order and Law & Order spinoffs. I love it. Peggy said, we did our own business for 38 years. It is a load. Stay strong and you will get there. Yes, it is. It's doing very well, which is really good. It's a lot. It is a lot. There is no like leaving at 5 o'clock and that does not exist. But that's also part of what makes, there's lots of benefits. I mean, believe me, I've done lots of things over the years and I would not go back to any of those things because I love, love, love it. I love what I'm doing. It's just sometimes stressful. Liking. I am liking the warmer weather. We have had a very long, it seems like, cold, snowy, way above average winter. So it's always nice when it starts to get warm and you start to see some of the little buds on the trees. And even though it's only 40 today-ish, 40? I don't know, maybe. Oh, 42. It's 42 right now. Yeah. All right. What are you liking? Tell me what you're liking. Are you liking chocolate? Pam just asked how Nick's knee is. Thank you, Pam. It's great. Nick was on a ski trip to Canada and hyperextended his knee, and we were a little concerned that he did something else to it, and he did not, just a strain. Like the muscles around there in his calf too, very strained, and so he's limping a little bit, but he will be good. And I have to tell you, and this is going to sound very selfish, but you know what? Again, keeping it real. When he called and told me, I'm like, oh no, is everything okay? You feel okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay. So let's get that. I've moved beyond now that making sure he was okay, because obviously that is the most important thing. But then after confirmed he's okay, I'm thinking in my head, oh my goodness, we are going to Europe in a month for 18 days for a trip that already got rescheduled. And I'm thinking, how are we going to, like, if he used to have surgery, like, what are we going to do? But luckily, thank goodness. And you know what? It is what it is. Not a first world, it is a first world problem, not a third world. It's a first world problem, right? But I was, again, just being honest. I was like, oh my goodness. And it's good. He's good. We're hoping that we can get a Harvey trip in soon. Harvey is the name for our RV, Harvey the RV. And so we're hoping, it's very wet in northern Utah, but we're hoping southern Utah that we'll be able to get out. Oh, there you go, Joe Disney fan. That could be one of Nick's lists. His favorite places to ski or what he likes about skiing. Here's the thing. He would have no problem coming up with lists like that. The problem is that the lists that we do need to hopefully be something that anyone could do, right? Like everyone could do it currently if they wanted, right? The favorite things I love about skiing could be a little bit harder, although it could be favorite things I love about, and you fill in the blank, absolutely. Hoping, trying. I'm trying, we are trying. That sounds horrible. We're not trying to have a baby. We are trying. And you know what Yoda says about trying, right? He says, do or do not, there is no try. Trying to do stretching every morning, like a little bit of yoga stretching every morning. And Nick's in on it too, because let's see, let me do this. Stretching / yoga every morning. Oh my goodness, you feel so much better. I think I joked about it last time. I need to get to the point where it doesn't feel like I'm like a 90-year-old getting out of bed. You know, when you get out of bed and you're like, oh, I years ago was not kind to my back when I did CrossFit for a few years, and I injured my lower back, and I am paying for it every day. But stretching really helps, right? Stretching really helps. All right, so I have now, I need to have a few more things on my list that I did not have because I kind of got out of order of things here. What else would I like to add? Enjoying. What am I enjoying? I know I'm enjoying our Saturdays. I know I'm enjoying like this. We're on a streak here. We are on a streak of what will be 8 in a row, which we haven't done in forever. Enjoying. I'm enjoying Saturday listing. Okay. Let's see. When am I planning on the video about documenting trips? So Joanne, it's probably going to come out in maybe June or July because I'm actually working on it right now. But I'm working on it right now as we are like going on this trip. So it's how I prepare. It's what I document in my traveler's notebook before we go. So all of that is happening as I go along. So I need to be where we are now, getting ready. I need the trip. So the things that you would do while you were on your trip to get ready to document when you come home, and then the document when I come home. So it'll still be a few more months, but it will be a nice, comprehensive, and it doesn't matter what kind of trip you're going on. Doesn't matter where you're going. It will have nothing to do with how to plan a trip to Europe or how to plan a trip to China or how to plan a trip to Mount Rushmore. It's just that if you were going on a trip and you want to be able to document the trip, this is kind of some things that I would recommend, and it's a digital course. So it'll be, there will be no material that goes with it. There will be no kit that goes with it. It'll just be series of videos that talk about each of those things and show you tons of examples. Yes, Sarah asked, will I be documenting while on the trip? Yes and no. I will be, but I don't know if I've told you guys this, we are doing this trip. It's 18 days in a carry-on. I will have a carry-on suitcase and a backpack, which is so unlike me. So I will be doing a few very specific things. I will be taking basically one insert with me. And that's where all my notes will be about the trip. So there'll be a spread for each day. And I'll be capturing the same information each day, but those will be like my notes. So that when I come home, I'll have all of those notes for each day that then I can then put the photos and the memorabilia and all that together and document it. So that's really what I'm doing. That and a really cool pouch. But that's what I'm doing. But that will be kind of part of, as I talk through that whole course, we'll be talking about all different kinds of things like that. When might the All About Me start shipping? Monday. Denise, start shipping Monday. We're squirreling for a minute. Oh, where is he? I did a little bit of reorganizing. Oh, there he is. Just a little squirreling right here, enjoying. Now I don't even remember. Hi, Mom. Hi, Lael. I'm here, Mom. I like it when you do that, Mom. Thank you. Because then if I don't see you, other people say, Lael, your mom's here. Otherwise, if you didn't say that, then no one would know. You are doing what you don't normally do. Wanda, absolutely. I've never in my life gone on a trip where I only take a carry-on. Literally never. Especially for an 18-day trip. So yes. All right, let's see. What else? Learning. I don't know. Learning's always a hard one, right? Learning. What am I learning? Here's one. I mentioned earlier that I had some neighbors over. I'm learning To listen, to understand. That was one of the things I said that I needed to practice, listening to understand. And I was having a conversation with one of my neighbors the other night, on Thursday night, and she was talking about something, and I go, oh my gosh, hold on. I said, please stop. Please stop. Will you say that again? I'm so sorry. I was listening to respond. I was not listening to listen to what you were saying. So honestly, I really didn't hear what you were saying. So would you please repeat again? And she just starts laughing and she's like, oh my goodness. Yes. And she goes, wow, I love that. And I'm like, I'm so embarrassed to say, but I was not listening to listen. So I'm learning to do that. I'm learning to do that. Big difference, right? I know you guys usually see my mom before I do, huh? You usually do. Okay, here we go. Carrie, yes, Carrie, there's a ton of ways that you can document a trip. Absolutely a ton of ways you can document a trip. Depending on what kind of medium you're using, or not medium, what kind of base, whether it's a scrapbook or a traveler's notebook or what it is. We are going to 3 different countries in that time and a lot of different cities. So there is a lot that I want to document. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of a bigger project. What am I disliking? What am I disliking? And then I will be done with this list, just about. So disliking. But while I'm figuring out what I'm disliking, just to kind of wrap up this type of list, and I will still add a couple more decorations, but to wrap up a list like this is, you could use the same things every time. You could use the same prompts every time if you wanted. You could switch up the prompts every time, or you could just take one of these prompts and focus solely on that. Like in the past, we've done I think watching, so currently watching, and then you make a list of all the things that you're currently watching, or the things that you're enjoying, or the things that you're eating, or whatever. So you could really narrow down in on one particular thing. So I need to figure out my disliking still, so let me kind of ponder that. I do know what I want to do here, though. I am going to just come in and do a little outline, a little line, I guess, right there, to kind of separate that. And I'm going to put a little period right there for my currently, just to bring a little bit more black up there. Let's take a look at, oh, I know, I was talking about the stickers. I kind of didn't leave room for my little stickers here. I knew I wanted to use this little guy, the rainbow, because the rainbow is super cute. The rainbow, oh, look at the rainbow could go right there above the butterflies. That is a clear sticker. So you can see my fingers behind it, which is nice because when I put that right here, oh, disliking. That doesn't really work now. I need to put this over here because I left room for disliking. So we'll put that there. And we need something up here, I feel. Let's see what we might like. We could have a butterfly. What if we did a little butterfly maybe over here? We don't want the butterfly there. So I don't want to put the butterfly here because this butterfly is facing the wrong direction. He's like flying off the page, and to me that looks really odd. And then here he doesn't really fit. Also, if he goes here, it's kind of one line. I don't know. Let's keep looking. He's not really working for me. So let's put him back on the sheet and see what else we might use in here. I kind of like these little guys. What if we use one of these little guys? Currently? Maybe right there? No, we better do this over here. Oh, we also have to date this. There we go. Oh, there's a fun date stamp coming up too. A totally different kind of date stamp than you might think. Oh, look at this. This is kind of fun. This one up here, this remember could be fun to put on here. Let's see, remember, because that's why we're doing this, right? We're doing this so we remember. There we go. Let me pull that up just for a sec. Disliking all the mud trails. Yeah, it's very wet. Disliking all the mud trails. I like that. It's a little bit too close over there. What if we put that up here? We'll just put this right up here. How about that? There we go. That works there. Yeah, Louisa, would love to hear how you were going to just take a backpack and a carry-on for your 18-day trip. Well, lots of research. Lots of research. I will share more about that at some point. Probably when I'm back, because then we know how well it worked. Probably I should bring this in over here now because I need to put something in here. And I was going to put a butterfly, but I already have lots of butterflies. I'd really like a flower. Flower. Let's see, maybe this flower. Let's see if we like the way this looks. Here. How about right there? It's kind of a mismatch of things, which I don't really love, but it's okay. All right, disliking. I think I'm going to say, Nick's talking to one of our neighbors outside. Disliking. I think I'm going to go with Nancy's answer, disliking all the mud on the trails, but better than ice. Disliking the wet and mud, because we have lots of that going on. All right, here we go. This comes over here, and let's go ahead and get this in and date it, and then we will move on to our next list. Boy, I'm getting black ink all over my fingernails. Martine, packing cube. So that's very welcome, Martine. Oh, and Martine, I owe you. Hi, when I saw your email, I'm shaking my head. I'm like, really? I sent Martine the wrong stamp. And Martine lives in the Netherlands. I'll send you the right one, Martine. I know. Murphy's Law. Wouldn't you know Murphy's Law? So while I'm finishing this up, Martine asked if I'm using packing cubes. No. Well, kind of, but not. A friend of mine turned me on to this suitcase called it's Solagard. And it has a like shelving system in it. So it's kind of like, like Ikea, or you go to like a organization store or whatever, and they have the little, it's a, almost looks like a thing that you could hang on your closet rod that has like space for all your little sweaters. It's kind of like that, but it's built into the suitcase and then it cinches down. So when you get to wherever you're going, you just lift it out, and it can either lift out and still stay connected to the suitcase. So you have like a little closet, or you can take it all the way out and put it in the closet itself. So we'll see. Yes, we will see. Kristen, I love it. Kristen said she was a flight attendant. She'd be gone 18 plus days and only have an 18-inch bag and carry-on. Bring plain shirts and accessories like chunky necklaces or scarves, sundresses. So great suggestions, Kristen. Thank you. So Ireland and Scotland is where we were spending most of our time, and it is mid to late May, which in that part of the world at that time, weather is super iffy. Can be very rainy and wet, and so there will be lots of neutral things, but there will be rain jackets and like scarves that can dress something up or keep you warm. And yes, take my mom. She won't take up much room. She will not. Right? All right. So here we go. All I need to do is add a date. And I think what I will do, I think I will bring out one of my little trusty roller date stamps. A small one, because I have a small space. I will go right there. So, or maybe I'll go right here. Today is April 15th. Yes, April 15th, 2023. And I will still even test this one. We'll see. So Nick took it on a business trip, or his on a business trip recently. Obviously, but two. I better clarify. We are each having a backpack and a suitcase, not just one. I've also done a lot of research, reading lots of blogs and what people say to bring and not to bring. And I think I was going to put it over here. Yes. Before I do that, okay, you guys, here is a really prime example. I'm so glad I looked at that before I acted. This is a perfect example of why a pencil board really comes in handy. I was just, Rebecca, hi, life facilitator. I love seeing you. Oh my goodness, I love seeing you. Wait, Rachel, not Rebecca, Rachel. I knew that. I'm so sorry, Rachel. Rachel and I met in Dallas years ago, right? At Penner's Conference. Is that when we first met? When I was working for Carpe Diem. Okay. I was just about ready, you guys, to stamp the date right there. And what I almost did was make a really big mistake because this chipboard 5 is underneath it. So if I had stamped on this and the chipboard 5 would for sure be in the way and it would not work. Part of my stamp would show, part wouldn't because it would be getting in the way of the 5. That's when your pencil board comes in handy. Flat surface, stick it under your page. Now I'm stamping on a flat surface, not on the 5. All right, so let's do that again. And there we go. So I wish that I could show you what I would have done, but I would have messed it up. But even if I had messed it up, guess what? I wouldn't have cried. I would have either taken a sticker and put it right on top of that, or I could have taken a little piece of scratch paper like this. I could have re-stamped on this and then just put that right over there and no one would have been the wiser, right? All right, I think we're good. I think that list is ready to roll. We're going to move on to our next list. Yes, Rachel, I can't believe I said Rebecca. No, I'm Rachel. Why I have Rebecca on the brain? Rachel, I know that. All right, here we go. Our second list is, let me get some of these things cleaned up. Our second list is what I love about, and this is now I have to correct myself because the person that suggested that Nick could do lists, he could come up with lists, and one of his lists could be what I love about skiing. That's kind of like what I'm doing now, what I love about reading. Not everyone loves to read, right? So if you're listing with me, you are probably not listing about what you love about reading. You might be listing about what you love about gardening or what you love about cooking or what you love about ABC, whatever it is. I know if you're my mom, what you love about playing tennis. So whatever it is, but I am listing about what I love about reading. So let me just get this put away and we will be ready to roll again. Ding. And I also am going to have a quick sip up. Oh, there's my loving. It stayed attached to the sheet. All right. Our next list, what I love about reading. So maybe it was Joy. I want to say maybe Joy. Hi, Dee. Dee said, hi, Layla. It's all good. Joining late from Sarasota, Florida. Welcome. I hope that you are staying okay and dry. And then Dee said Layla with an E, LOL. You guys, please don't ever feel bad if you say Layla. Because autocorrect happens. And then also sometimes people just don't know. They just think it's Layla because Layla is a very different name. Isn't it, Mom? Yes, very different. So I never get offended. Layla. Usually when people say, oh, Layla, your parents were big Eric Clapton fans. And I say, no. Or usually I just say, because it's just easier that way to try to explain. But it actually, my name comes from a show. Hold on, gotta put this away, called The Big Valley. Big Valley, from what I understand, was a show similar to Gunsmoke. And my parents were watching when my mom was pregnant. And that was one of the actresses' names in real life. And so they decided they liked that name, and that's my name. Oh, Wanda, I love that you're sitting outside. Oh, Dee, don't even make us all jealous. Dee, I don't even know if you can be here. Dee said, my feet are dangling in the pool as I watch you. Oh, I am so jealous. That just sounds heavenly. That just sounds so wonderful. Good for you. Good for you. I'm glad you guys, I'm glad anyone is enjoying their day. Regardless of what it is you're doing. I just love that you're here with me. Okay, so what I love about reading. For this list, I am going to use the My Story collection. I already got that. My Story. My Story. This is the collection that I used in the This Is Me Traveler's Notebook Kit that starts shipping on Monday. But My Story is a really fun story collection from Simple Stories that has a little bit of a loose book theme to it. So I thought it would be really fun for this list. Joy, I think it was Joy, either emailed or commented somewhere and said, hey, would you show your reading Traveler's Notebook that you started, I don't know, a few months ago, whenever I started it. Yes, I will show you, because I don't think I ever showed this, but it just, nothing much has happened to it since we first worked on it, or since I first worked on it. So I have a new Traveler's Notebook insert that I plan on using just for reading, although this list is not going in here. This list is in my regular old listing Traveler's Notebook. I will cover this with this paper, a 12 by 12. I'll do a little slip cover with the books. And then here's my little intro page. Oh, look at, I used the currently reading stamp set. And then this was the first spread that we did. There's a lot going on here. I decided to stay true to the books that I was reading. So we made a little pocket, used the currently reading notepad from Everyday Explorers that I have on my website. So this is a really fun, easy way to document the books that you're reading using that little notepad. So they go in my little pocket here. The Eat, Sleep, Read, Repeat is a stamp from Ellie's Studio that's on my website. Let me just shove those back in there. And then I did book covers. So these are photos. Oh, Joanne, I was close. Joanne Joy. Those are book covers. Those are photos of book covers. I just went to Google and Googled tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And that was the book cover. I right-clicked on it, saved it to my camera roll, and then printed it out. So there is a lot going on here. But like I said, I decided to stay true to the book covers, the colors of the book covers. I also had printed them out in black and white. And I liked the black and white better, but then it's not really true to the book covers. So there we go. And that's all I have so far. That is all I have so far. I have not finished a book. I don't believe. I'll have to see. I don't know if I've finished a book since, oh, sad, March 6th. I don't know. I'll have to look at my Google Reads, not Google Reads. Goodreads, Google Reads, Goodreads. All right. Anyhow, so that's what my Traveler's Notebook looks like for kind of my reading. That is a separate insert. So our list that we're working on right now is what I love about reading. So let's take a look at some patterned paper from the 6x8 pad. We know we've got to use this one, right? That is the 6x8 version of that I showed you that I'm going to use to cover my Traveler's Notebook insert for my reading specific. So now I need something just super neutral for the other side. Super neutral. There's that one again. That's so fun. Now, this is what I could do. Actually, and this is what I'm going to do. I had used this already in my my reading specific Traveler's Notebook insert, but this is just a list. So I think what I'm going to do, I will use this over here. This will be a it'll be a 2-page list, but I'll do my list over here, and this will be the background of the list that I put on there, so that it kind of goes together. So we need to trim both of those down. That's the nice thing about the paper pads from Simple Stories. There's 2 sheets each of 12 different designs. So even though I already used that one, I can use it again. Although, I'm going to now change my mind. I think I'm going to use that over there because so much of this will get covered up. I'm going to use that over here, this one, and then I'll use a book die cut or something like that just to kind of reinforce a little bit more. All right, let's get our trimmer out again. So if you like to read, what do you like about reading? What is it that does it for you? You might only have 1 or 2 things on your list. You might have 10 or 12 or 28. I think I have 9 or 10. We'll see. I mean, I don't think. I know that, I can't do it. What am I doing? Don't mind me. Just don't mind me. I have to go this way. Oh, I didn't even need to open those up. Sometimes when you get out of your, like, 4 3/4 Lael, wow. I will tell you, for me, it's very difficult to sometimes talk and work and think at the same time. That was a prime example of that. All right, that's 4 3/4 wide. This one I would also like to make 4 3/4 wide. So I need to trim a little bit off of each side, right? I think I need to trim, if I need it 4 3/4, I need to trim a half, I think about 5/8. So the way that I get 5/8 is I'm just going to do a half. I think, let me just do this. I do a half from each side, and then I think I do an 1/8, right? And that would give me a 1/4. Yeah, so half of a 1/4. You know what I mean. There we go. And there we go. Okay. There we are. There's my little paper. There's my little base. There's part of my list. Whatever I'm trying to say. Reading is like a vacation and you never have to leave your chair. That's good, Cindy. Yes, guilty pleasure, Shanita. Yes, absolutely. Guilty pleasure for me too. Shanita, I love that one. She said, I love the fact that I have so many book boyfriends and my husband teases me relentlessly. Oh yes, right? Don't you just love to get into like the characters and oh yes. Ms. L says, I mainly read fiction. It lets me escape from reality. Yep, absolutely. That's me too. Most of my reading is fiction. And I'm not embarrassed to say most of my reading is like chick flicks, but in the book form. Just because it is, I don't have to think. I like that, and I like murder mysteries. Historical fiction doesn't do it for me. Science fiction doesn't do it for me, but it's something that I can just not really have to think about and just read. And sometimes it's those things. Yes, okay. So this is one side. That will go over here. Like so. If you are, let's say you're doing a reading specific traveler's notebook insert, like the one that we just looked at, and you're also list with me like this, put your list wherever you feels good. If you want it in here, in your regular listing notebook, or if you want it in your reading one, no right or wrong, right? There is no right or wrong. Sarah is reading her mom's old Agatha Christie she bought in the 50s and 60s. Makes me feel like we're reading together. Oh, I love that, Sarah. I love that for you. That is really special. I think that is very neat. It's one of the things I have on my list is that it brings people together. And it may sound odd that you could say that reading brings people together because reading is usually kind of a solitary sport, right? It's kind of a solitary sport, but reading, I think, can be very social and not in the act itself, but it's more in the talking about the book after the fact, as you're reading. A lot of times it can bring people together very easily. You may have a really difficult time striking up conversation with people, but if you have something in common, like tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, like Colleen said she really liked, or she liked that book, then you have something that's super easy to talk about, and it's not necessarily really personal. You don't even really have to talk about yourself. You're talking about the book. So that's kind of fun. Book titles on the right page can be your list items. Oh, that could be really fun. D, that's a great idea. So what D said is you could come in here and write. Yeah, you would have to write small, but you could totally write small in a bunch of these little books. I like it. I like that idea a lot. I think that is very fun. That's a great idea, Shanita. All right, so here we go. Now I need some white cardstock because, oh yes, I reorganized some things in here. I think I told you guys that I'm having this room redone. This room, nothing wrong with it, but it feels like a college dorm room because it is the furniture that I've had in here. I've had for my craft room. I had it in our last house too. Is all IKEA. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not really working for what I need anymore because this is where not only do I design, but doing all of this live, I need things to be a little bit more accessible in some different ways. So we are having bids done right now for this. And I had to get some things kind of reorganized as I was thinking about what I would want. So some of my supplies are in a few different places now. All right, so I took some 8.5 by 11 white cardstock. This is a Nina Bright White. You guys always ask about the white cardstock that I use, not only for my lists, but for my stamping, especially the swatches, the ink swatches. So this is a Nina Bright White. I always have it linked in the description box of the video. You can get it on Amazon in like packs of 250 sheets. Last week, I asked if you guys would like me to start carrying it in smaller packs. 25. So now they're available on my website in packs of 25. So if you want a lot and you want 250, absolutely you should go to Amazon or off a supply store. I just get it from Amazon because I use it in a lot of different things, my kits and things like that. If you want 250, it's way better to get it from there price-wise. But if you don't need a lot, then I carry it now. Okay, so 8.5 by 11. I trimmed it to 8, and I'm going to trim this guy. That is 4.75. So I'm going to say, I think let's try 4. Let's try 4. Scrapbook Sista said I'm using a tracker planner for my book reading this year. The sad part is I only have read 1 book since January. Do you know what? You have no pressure, right? There should be no pressure. Whoops, I need to trim that down. There should be no pressure. Reading, unless you're in school, should be pleasurable, right? If you're in school, you have to do it. But reading should not be a have to do. It should be a want to do. So there should be no pressure if you feel like you're behind, right? We give ourselves so much. We're so hard on ourselves, right? See, like Scrapbook Sister, she's like, I'm behind, right? We feel like we're behind in things like that, but we have to be nicer to ourselves. Says the pot calling the kettle black here, just so you know. I do realize that I need to do that myself. So, all right. Let's outline this little guy. And now we need our title. And we'll get our title in a minute, but we also would like to get what kind of embellishment I want in here somewhere. So, because it would be way too plain that way. I have in my little container here a whole bunch of die cuts. Ooh, that could be fun. Next chapter, that could be fun. This one could be fun. If I used this, I would cut it off, so I wouldn't need that part there. These are all the journal bits that I'm pulling out right now. Oh, there's my reading notepad. Flowers. You can see when I just picked things up, I really just threw things in here. I kind of like a little plant. I really love the plants in this collection. I think that's a really fun addition to something you wouldn't really see. So it's not all about reading. You have cameras and you have flowers. That's a good one. That typewriter. So lots of good things, but we're definitely focusing on the book side of the collection here. Let's see what else we have. Bunches of washi, and I'll look at the sticker book in a minute. Oh, large. Those are all of the flower die cuts. Now you can see if I was not in a hurry last time we were using this collection, I would have put all their pieces back in their little bags. So I'd have all the journal bits together and those things, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. All right, I think we are good there. Move this off to the side. I think I have a good selection of what I might like to use, but we might want to look at a few stickers and see what we have. There you go. See, you're doing audiobooks. That's the same thing. It doesn't matter if you listened or read. You make the rules, right? You get to make the rules. That little kitty is kind of cute. That little black kitty on top of the books. Oh, okay, hold on. This one's nice. That is nice. Let's just look at this one because this could be a very nice, this long sticker. I bet it would fit very nicely. What did I do? Oh, I probably put it away. Oh, here it is. This could work very nicely. Oh yes, right here. That will be a nice little footer to my list. And I would like it to be a footer. I think that's way too heavy up at the top. So if we put it at the bottom, kind of draws our eye to the bottom. So let's go ahead and get this. Oopsie. Oh, I'm glad that just kind of came out when I flipped the camera before to show you the how I store those little storage pieces, the little containers for my collections. I forgot to plug my phone in after I did that. There we go, lovely. Okay, we'll have to put something down here because this to me. Right there, you guys know when I always say when it feels like something's missing, a word strip is your answer. Right here, that's a whole bunch of green carpet, word strip. We need a word strip right at the bottom of there. So we'll deal with that right away. Let's see if there are any word strips that I might want to use in this sticker book. We'll look at the back. Kind of, but I don't think so because that's not the kind of word strip that I am going for. I would like to just do a very plain Jane. Plain Jane. Word strip sticker. Ooh, this could be kind of fun. So I carry lots of these Tim Holtz Ideology sticker books. You usually see the Small Talk one quite a bit. So there's Small Talk. Sometimes I use Small Talk Snarky because they're funny, like why limit happy to an hour? A penny for your thought seems a little pricey, so they're snarky. But this one could be fun because look at this one. This one is called Clippings. This Clippings looks like they are clippings from books, right? Wouldn't that be fun? I need to remember these and use these, pull them out to use a lot when I am working in my reading specific traveler's notebook. So let's see what we have. They really are, like this says, popularity contest. She stood her ground. There seemed no more to say. The summer sun shines. He was ready and willing. So they really are, well, I don't know if they're really cut from, books, but they're made to look like, you know what I mean. Will the stack of books with the cat, Cindy, I'm not sure of the rest of that. Hi, Mary Tran. You're here for a good 20 minutes, but that's good. I love it. Yep, I love it. Mary. So I will tell you, Mary just asked a great question. Mary said, have you considered using QR codes in your idea book versus link? Of course, that could mean a little more pricier for the book, but it will be easy. So here's the deal. QR codes, absolutely. We did talk a lot about QR codes and QR codes. This was my concern, is that I think that most people that will be using the idea book will not be using their phone. They may be using you could use, as long as you could use your a tablet, but if you were using an iPad or a computer, then trying to use a QR code with one of those is I don't know if you can with the computer. You could probably figure it out, but a little bit more clunky. I was also a little bit worried that some people don't know how to use QR codes. So this is the solution. The idea book will have links, but because it's a printed book, it is the link, which you would theoretically have to type out, but you don't have to, because when you order the idea book, you get emailed a PDF that has all of those links as hot links. So you just say, okay, it will have them by chapter. You just say, this is the link I want to look at this list. And you click that hot link in the PDF and it will take you there. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, I hope. I hope. I don't know, maybe like 5 years from now, we might be to the point, I think, where more people would be comfortable with QR codes. I think it definitely came up a little bit more out of COVID, because I think when a lot of restaurants now, that's how you do the menus. Here it is. Look at this one on the top of her priority list. So there we go. There's my word strip sticker. That works. On the top of her priority list, that's going to go right there, because guess what? That works. And see, when it feels like something's missing, word strip sticker. Look how that just filled in that space perfectly. Okay, let's put those away and let's now come up with a title for our list. Come up with a title. Yeah, Mary, we try to make it the easiest, because the idea is that you look at all the pictures and you go, oh, I like that list. I want to know a little bit more about that, or I'm going to see her make it, or what products did she use, or whatever. That's then when you go to the video, and it even tells you what minute mark to go to start watching that particular list. So try to make it as easy as possible in a printed format. Idea book, Sunshine Through Me. I like that name. It will go live on my website the first week of May. So a couple weeks, only a couple weeks away. All right, let's get some alphabet stickers out. I think I am going to use, oh my gosh, duh, Lael. I'm thinking of our next list. Duh. Can't believe I almost did that. That would have been really bad. I am using one of my new stamp sets. It is called I Heart This. It is the perfect list. It's a perfect stamp for this. Where are these? Why is this not where I think it is? Hang on. I have like 8 versions of it, so hang on, friends. I guess I haven't put them in their little containers yet. Oh well, okay. Here we go. So this is, I'll show it to you this way, one of my brand new stamp sets. It is called List Builder I Heart This. So this is a fun way for you to document all of the things that you love. And I will use this to document what I love about reading. So let's decide. I am going to use black to stamp my title, and I need and then I think I will do, there's 2 different, well, there's actually multiple loves, right? You have love with a heart as the O, you have love with the O as the O. You have 2 little versions of love. You have I Heart This, if you wanted to do that. These stamps, you guys, are hand-drawn. They are hand-drawn by my friend Christine, and Christine is Pop Daisy Art. So this was a really fun release. Well, they're all really fun releases, but this one was very different. What I love about okay, this is what I'm going to do. I had to think about that for a minute. There's 2 versions of About. There is a color-in version for About, and then there's also a little kind of handwritten version. So I'm going to use the handwritten. And then I will use Willie Alpha, I think, to do reading. That's my plan. So, love what I love about, and then we'll do reading right here. Or I may, yeah, I'm going to do reading with Willie Alpha. And then everything will kind of go well together. So, I'm still very perplexed why those aren't there. I do not know. So here we go. Here is Willie Alpha, and then I will spell reading. Okay. Let's get out stamping block, excuse my reach, and let's get out black ink. What I'm going to do with this stamp set, I am going to stamp it in black, and then I will color in the words. There are a couple of different ways to use these stamps, the hand drawn ones, you can color or stamp black and then color in the words with different colors with either a marker or colored pencil. Or you can stamp in color. So if I didn't want to mess with having to color in this case, instead of stamping in black, I could still stamp in black, but maybe I would stamp in yellow, or maybe I'd stamp in a kind of coral color or the green or something like that. But I am going to stamp in the black. So the other thing that I'm going to do here, I am going to stamp each of these stamps separately, independently of each other. Even though I could put this right here, I don't want to put this right here because do you see all of the extra polymer that is around the love? That is there because it gives it more stability. But what it also does is it gets in the way of where I want to put the what I. So if I stamp this one that way, then I can come in and place what I exactly where I want it. I'm sorry, that is, I need to, hang on. Let me turn off my watch. Let me put it on, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'll put it on theater mode. All right. I'm also going to have a quick hydration break. Okay, hydration. Nick said, there's Nick. I proved the idea book the other day. It is really cool. You will all love it. So you guys, here, while I'm just having a sip, here's a squirrel moment. Okay, there we go. It was proved so many times. And then when I got the physical, like printed proof from the printer, it's so funny the things that you don't notice. And it was great because Nick had not seen it before at all. So Nick was looking at entirely different things than I was when I was proofing and when Amy was when she was proofing. Nick was like, wait a minute, those little things don't line up on that one page. They're too high or they're too low. So that was awesome. Always a good idea in a situation like that, whoopsie, to get more eyes on something, for sure. So see, yes, Nick helps. Nick, are you getting a signed copy and we'll frame it? Mary, absolutely he is. He's going to live and breathe by it. He's going to know that thing by heart. Hi, Gabby. Okay, here we go. So, where is my stamping tester notebook? Okay, here we go. When we talk about ink, most of the time, well, not most of the time, all the time, you guys see me use the Distress Oxide, Tim Holtz Distress Oxide, and I like that. I prefer Distress Oxide over the regular Distress ink, and that is just me. The Distress inks are different from the Distress Oxides. The Distress inks are a dye-based ink, and the Distress Oxides are a pigment-based ink. If you are using either of those inks for mixed media, it's really important you know the difference between the two. If you are putting gesso down first and then stamping on top, or you're using watercolors, or you want to blend inks, anything like that, they both have different properties. So it's really important that you know what the properties are if you are doing mixed media. Now for Lael, I don't do mixed media. I just stamp with my inks. And so for me, I like the Distress Oxides. They're a pigment-based ink. To me, they're a little juicier. They seem to give better coverage for what I'm looking for. So when I am using black, as I mentioned before, I use the VersaFine Clair. That's a pigment-based ink. There's one really important thing you need to know about pigment-based ink. It takes a minute to dry. So if you are stamping with your pigment-based ink with this stamp and then you want to go ahead and color it in, I would suggest stamp, move on to something else for a few minutes, come back and then color it in, because you do not, unless it's a look that you're going for, want to be coloring in and have that black come into your color. All right, so just important to know that what you have and what you're using it for and what you're doing with it. If you want to know more about the difference between Distress inks and Distress Oxides, or you want to know more about using dye-based inks versus pigment-based inks, or even hybrid inks, which is a combination of the two, in the description box of the video, down at the very, very, very bottom, scroll all the way to the bottom of the description box. There are linked to 2 articles on scrapbook.com. One is Tim Holtz showing you the difference between the Distress Oxides and the Distress inks and showing them side by side and how you would use one versus the other in different types of projects. The other one is just kind of generic, the difference between dye-based inks and pigment-based inks. I tell you all of that just because it's important that if you are using your inks for something other than stamping, watercoloring, things like that, you should know the difference. And there's a couple important things to know, like pigment, a little bit wet, you need to let it dry first, okay? So there we go, that looks good. Now I will come back in here and stamp that. Oh, I need my, pencil board. Because I for sure want to have my pencil board because I have lots of things that have happened underneath, right? I don't want anything that's happened prior to this page to affect my nice stamp image. That's what a pencil board is. Basically just gives you a flat surface to stick underneath something. So you have a nice flat surface for writing or stamping or whatever it is. So my love will go right here. All right, nice even pressure. There we go. My stamps are made in the US. They are photopolymer stamps, as opposed to like an acrylic stamp. Acrylic stamp is a very different process for making an acrylic stamp versus a photopolymer. Photopolymer stamps, based on how they're made, a much finer detail. And because they're much finer detail in a different process, most are made in the US and more expensive than like an acrylic stamp. So if you ever, let's say you're shopping and you see two 4x6 stamps. One is, let's say, $15 and one is $7. There's a reason for the price difference. They are, even though it could look like the exact same stamp, different. Generally, your acrylic stamps are less expensive. They may give you different results than a photopolymer stamp. If you've just ever wondered why some things are more expensive than others, and especially when it comes to that. All right, so my wet eye, I am going to put, I think I can fit it. Let's see if it'll fit right in there. Oh, guess what I didn't do? I did not test it first. So another benefit of testing first is that I could have taken that stamp and stamped it a couple of different places. I don't even know where we were in here to see where I liked it. Well, that's a different one. Anyhow, so I could have done, okay, I could have said, do I like it over here, even though it's off the page? Or do I like it more like right here? Or do I like it over here? Ooh, that would kind of be a fun one next time, right? Is to do it vertical right next to it because it's about the same height. But having my little test stamp like that also lets me try different placement if I'm putting multiple stamps together. All right, so there's what I love. And then my about. This now will get a little interesting because I kind of have to figure out the placement, right? Because about, now my about really should go more about over here, right? So let's just pretend, because it really needs to go about more that way because my reading needs to fit in there. So when I come over here, my about probably needs to come, I don't know, about right there. So let's now take a different stamping block to do reading. If I didn't want to stamp my individual letters, I could use stickers. I could use stickers to spell reading. That would take a little bit less time. But I would still need to individually place them. All right. So with the alphas, you are going to have multiples of every letter. So for example, the R, I have two. I have the uppercase and the lowercase. But let's take, for example, the O. I have three versions of the O. I have the uppercase, I have a lowercase outlined and a lowercase solid. So the lowercase solid, if I use that one, I could color in the full O instead of the outlined O. But in this case, I think I will just do, hang on, I need to clean, my stamping block has something on it. It has ink on it, but it has something on it, and I don't want that to get on my fingers and then create fingerprints. with ink. I'm going to grab a little wipe here and just clean off my fingers. Like I said, I want to make sure that I don't have any fingerprints or ink on my fingers. I don't want fingerprints on my list. Wipes are a really good thing to have in your craft room or wherever you're crafting to have with you. Even if you're going to a crop or something, just have a little package of wipes because you can clean off any residual ink that you might have on your fingers and not realize it's there. Now, those I strictly only use for cleaning my hands, not my stamps, because they shed. They have little fibers that come off. That's why I use chamois to clean my stamps. It's a little bit wet. And then I use microfiber cloth to dry my stamps because they don't, it won't leave lint, right? Lint free. So it's not going to leave any lint on my stamp, which I don't want, right? So let's look at, I just need to get a feel for, I don't want to place these on one, I don't want to place these this way, but I'm just going to get a feel. And I'll show you again why I don't want to place these this way. You could, but I do not want to. Because I'll actually just stamp this so you can see. I'm going to spell reading just so I can get a feel for how wide I'm going to be, but it won't be quite as wide. I'm also going to run out of room, but that's okay. R-E-D-A-I-N-G. We'll just pretend, okay? I just need to make, oh, that's a B. That's also why you test stamp first, friends. So you don't get your B's and D's mixed up, right? I mean, that should be pretty obvious once like it was very obvious when I turned it around. So my reading right here, it's actually going to be, it's going to be pretty wide, right? Now that I set that out like that, it's going to be pretty wide. So what I may need to do is what if about goes over here? What if about goes there? Because I really don't have room for it here. I'm just going to do it. It is what it is. I'm going to do it. Like we were talking about over here, we put the what I on one side, but we're going to put about on the other side. Because my word reading is a little bit long. It will go there. So let's look at this. Get my pencil board back in there really quickly before my ink starts to dry. I know it's going to be a little bit uneven left to right, so it's okay. Don't be sad. Don't be scared. Nobody panic. What I love about, and then reading will go underneath it. But I am not going to stamp like that. If I stamp like that, nothing wrong with it, but I will show you why I'm not going to stamp all one word. It's going to get a little weird here at the end, but that's okay. I also have not primed those stamps. So we're going to have something a little odd happen here. I'll show you two things in one. So this is the first reason why I'm going to stamp each of those letters separately. There is space between each of those letters, and I don't want that space there. I like my letters to be much closer together when I am stamping. The reason they are close together like that is because you have the extra spacing on the polymer around each of the stamps. So I can't get them closer together. They physically cannot get closer together on the stamping block. So I'm going to stamp each of those separately or independently. But here's the other thing that's going on. You'll be able to see this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Maybe a little bit. So do you see in the R up there? It's not as easy to see because this is an outline stamp. Do you see in the R, it's not quite filled in up at the top? It's not quite filled in up at the top because I did not condition it first. It's not ready to start stamping. Not as noticeable because this is a very thin word outlined. This is a way better example. If I go here to show you, hang on. Oh, here we go. So do you see those fives? Do you see how they're really splotchy? Those fives are splotchy because I did not condition the stamp first. Now, you can condition by just stamping. So do you see it basically took 1, 2, 3, 4 times before I got a nice solid impression? You can condition by stamping, but your stamps need to be conditioned first. Your photopolymer, I think your acrylics too. I'm not sure on acrylics, but you might as well do them on all. Because they have a really thin coating of the polymer on it. I don't know. They have a really thin coating that you can't see. So you need to get that coating off first. You can get the coating off by stamping, but you may need to stamp 4 or 5 times. You can get the coating off by using an eraser to erase the top of the stamp. Or you can get the coating off. People say you can even do like this, just on your hand, whatever you want to do. Usually what I do when I have a brand new stamp set, I don't know where my one is that I've been using. That's why I just opened up a brand new one. When I condition, I figure a brand new stamp set, I might as well condition the entire stamp set at once, because especially this one has 75 stamps. So if I condition each stamp as I'm ready to use it, I'll never remember what I have conditioned and what I haven't. So I find it easier as soon as you open up a brand new pack of stamps, just go ahead and condition all of them at once, and then you don't have to worry about it. So I'm just taking my little white block eraser here and erasing over the top of all of those letters. Once I get all of that done, then you want to come in and, my stamp chamois is a little bit too dry right now. Get away all those little eraser tailings, right? You know, the little things that are left over after you erase. And then before I stamp, if they're still wet, I want to come in with I use a microfiber cloth because it does not leave, doesn't leave little fibers or hairs. It's lint free. And all those things that I just went through, except for the chamois. I don't have chamois on my website, but everything else I do. And chamois are linked. Okay, so I am independently, as I said, going to stamp each of these letters. Now, you may say, oh my goodness, all this stamping, this takes so much time. I don't have time for that. And you know what? You don't have to. You could handwrite your title. You could use alphabet stickers. But I like to stamp because then I have lots of, I'm just trying to see where I think I might want this. I'm going to line that up right about there. You have lots of freedom when you're stamping, right? You have freedom when it comes to color. Well, especially color, right? You also have the freedom, and you know you're never going to run out of a letter because you always have the letter, right? Sometimes when we are stamping or sometimes when we're using stickers for our title, we run out of the S's and the T's and the R's, right? Going back to our old Wheel of Fortune days. R, S, T, L, N, E. Those are the most used letters in words in the alphabet. So those are the ones you always run out of first when you're using stickers. But guess what? When you're stamping, you don't run out of those. As long as you don't lose it, you're okay. R, E, A, A. Ms. L said, I hadn't heard of a stamp chamois until you mentioned it recently. You got one. So you guys, here's the thing. She said it cleans so well and isn't nearly as messy as wipes. As with everything, that having the right tool for the job is, and my dad taught me that when I was much, much younger, right? Like little. Having the right tool for the job makes a big difference. The ink that you use makes a big difference. The paper that you use makes a big difference. Having, if you can, have multiple size stamping blocks so you're not using a giant stamping block for just one letter because it may not kind of work as well as you'd want it to because it's can be really wobbly if if there's lots of extra room or just if you can have the right tools. then have the right tools for the job. If not, then you know what? You improvise and you make what you have work, right? You make what you have work. Hi, Nancy. So nice to see you. Our farmer, Nancy, I hope you don't mind when I call you that. I just am so impressed by that. Nancy and her husband are farmers in the Midwest. And Nancy drives the big equipment during, you're like, that's not the only thing that defines me, Lil. Okay. All right. So guess what? I was just getting ready to stamp that. And I do not want, so this is what I was getting ready to stamp. That with the heart on top. That with the heart on top is going to put the heart in the V, and it's going to be very odd. So I do not have an eye that does not have something on the top of it. But guess what I can do? I'm going to take a little sticky note, and I am going to put it right there. I'm going to create a mask. So I'm just going to cover that up. I am still going to use that same stamp, but now when I do that, I am only going to have the bottom part of the stamp stamped, not the top part of the stamp. There goes our mask, and there we go. So we can still see that's an E, but it's really right below the V, and it's just, there was no room for the heart. No room for the heart. All right, so we're just about there. Ms. L said, having the right tool does make a difference. I know this because I work for a kitchen tools and gadgets company, and I fully believe it. Yeah, right. I mean, although I don't cook, you guys know one of our sons, our older son, Jack, is, he went to culinary school, and he is working on becoming a chef, because you don't just become a chef. It's like saying you don't just become a pilot. You have to train, you have to work towards it. But he absolutely, especially Nick, because Nick does all the cooking in our house. He's very much indoctrinated Nick into the right tool for the right job. And some of the kitchen tools can be a little pricey, right? Pots and pans. Jack introduced Nick to a carbon fiber, like a carbon fiber frying pan kind of thing, which makes a world of difference. But yeah, not cheap. But again, you just, tools that you have. If you don't have the tools, then you make do, and you make it work, right? You make it work. All right, what I love about reading. I think we're good there. I think we are good. Okay, let me clean this last one. It's planting season now. I love that, Nancy. So Nancy, I was very curious when Nancy, early on in the pandemic, I think she had said, oh, I won't see you on Saturdays for the next couple of weeks because it's harvesting. And she's just, saying this in the chat. And I'm like, wait, harvesting what? And so she told us all about what, she does. And I said, oh my gosh, Nancy, please go in the Facebook group and share pictures. And she did. I just love that when you guys share, you guys know all about my life. I'm pretty much an open book, but I always love to hear about the things that you guys are doing. And especially when you share pictures, because it's just so fun. And speaking of pictures and sharing in the Facebook group, I love it when you guys share your lists, because then you guys always get to see what I'm doing, but I never get to see what you're doing, and other people don't get to see what you're doing. So I think it's kind of fun. All right, so there we go. What I love about reading. There's my title. Now I need, there's one more thing I'm going to do. Oh, see, where is my other set? I hate it when I do something like that and I don't know what I did with it. Because I had cut up. Guess what? This will be, we haven't even talked about giveaways today. Let's talk about the two right now, because the first one is that I heart this stamp set. So the second one is going to be the Willy Alpha, because this one, the one that I just opened that was brand new and is now mostly conditioned, I will give this one away too. Because I don't need two sets that I've used. I'm just going to put it away now though. So I remember that that's what that is. Okay, I am going to do a little, I'll just draw my own little like dot right there. I remembered that I didn't have the right one. I didn't have my set because there is a colon stamp, and I had cut the colon stamp apart so I could have a period, but they could use the two together if I wanted to do a colon. But anyhow, soybeans and corn, 4,000 acres. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Nancy, that's so awesome. Okay, what I love about reading. Now, I need to, I'm going to color that in. And I think I am going to, let's see here. Let's see what we want to do. Either going to be these or might be these. Might do markers. So, let's look and see. I have not swatched any of these yet. These are the ClickArt retractable pens that I have these 3 sets on my website. They're really cool because they are, look at, retractable markers. The ink is special technology, so they do not dry out, but then you're not messing with lids and all of that. You just have the little click ones. So let's see what we have here. I want to go back to here so we can kind of get a feel for what this looks like. That yellow works well. So I think we'll do that. I think we will color in the word love, and I will do that all in the same color. If I had, well, I also pulled out colored pencils. Sometimes I use colored pencils when I am coloring in these letters, and sometimes I use markers. Just depends on what I feel like. If I want something a little bit more saturated, I will generally use a marker because it just has that look to it as opposed to a colored pencil, which is going to be a little bit more transparent. Okay. Now what I could do there is maybe I'll just do, I'm going to actually do that in the whole title, except I will do the heart something different. And I will do another thing with the handwritten words. Okay, lots of coloring. I like that with the black outline, it kind of helps you to stay within the lines a little bit. I mean, it physically doesn't do that. There's nothing there that, it's not like a ridge or something that prevents you from going outside the line, but it visually, it just kind of helps you. Like I said, if you didn't want to do a 2-step process, you could just, I could have just used like fossilized amber for my title and not did a black and then colored in. I'll come back to the heart in a minute. Another thing that I can do just with those words, and I could do this even with my own handwriting if I wanted. If I want to bring a little bit more of that color in, and I'll hold this up to the camera in a sec so you can see, I am just tracing over those words. Actually, I'll hold it up now so you can see the difference. So do you see the what I that I just outlined? Not outlined, I literally wrote right over the word with that pen versus the about that is just the plain black. So you can kind of get a feel for, that's a really easy way, even if you're just stamping with regular letters that you're not coloring in. If you want to add a little bit more color, you can just go over whatever the initial color was that you stamped with your marker. All right, and then we'll do about like that. And then I'm going to find a color for the love. And I have, well, there's a number of reds, but I don't want like a really deep red. That came from the light set. But I don't, so I might end up with a, let's see. I think I might end up maybe with a colored pencil for the heart because I think this one might be too red. This is funny. This is the exact same combination Yeah, I don't want that red, I know. It's almost the exact same combination that I did on the dog list for the packaging for that stamp set. That's funny. All right, let's look. I think I might go to a colored pencil for that. It might even be fun. Maybe I want to do pink. The pink might be kind of fun. So I have not swatched these guys yet. So again, another nice benefit of doing your test stamping first. Where did that go? Almost time for start a new book. Okay, that is way too pink, right? We need something that's a little bit more blushy. That's actually kind of good. Let's try this one. They're pretty close. This one's a little bit less orangey maybe. So that's the first one. That's the second one. That's the one I want. The third one, well, that's actually the fourth one, but wow. Nancy said, I love that we're talking about farming and planting and seeding and plowing and all that. She just said, her neighbor has the highest tech John Deere planter, $700,000. Wow. That is what? Yeah. My goodness. That's a house. That's a really nice house, right? That's a house. All right, so here we're going to color in with the colored pencil. So here I'm just, it's okay to mix. I used colored pencil, or I used marker for part of it and colored pencil for the other part. There we go, what I heard about reading. Okay, so now let's make our list. How about that? Oh, I know what we can do. We can use where are my little bullets and more stamps? Let me put this away. I don't remember if it came out of a package now. Ouch. I'm just looking. Oh, ow. Speaking of bad backs, isn't that funny? I just bent down and stood back up again and sharp pain. Okay. So I think what could be fun here, this is, these are the bullets. These are the stamps from Bullets and More 2. So there are 2 bullets stamp set, list builder stamp sets. Oh my goodness, look I just noticed my shirt, this is not planned, I promise, like totally matches this list. That's hilarious. My shirt, my blouse. Bullets and More 2. There just so happens to be a book. A little open book. I think this could be really fun. So I want to take my little book bullet stamp, and I'm going to take the stamping stylus. That's one of my little products. You put your little tiny stamp at the end of the stamping stylus and you stamp away. There is something genius, Martine. I don't know if you were still on here, but I have to talk about this and give you credit. Someone a couple weeks ago, when I was using one of the bullet stamps, in the chat said, how do you make sure that you have the stamp oriented the right direction every time? She said, sometimes I stamp and it's right. Sometimes it curves a little and it's in the wrong place. And I'm like, and I don't know what I said. Later that day, Martine posted in the Facebook group and she said, I was thinking about that and I came up with a solution. So this is brilliant. Not my idea, hers. She added a little sticker. So I just added a little sticker to the end of my stylus right there. And then if I put my little book stamp, my bullet stamp, so it's lined up, actually, let me put it this way. So every time I stamp, as long as that flower stamp is facing the same direction, my little book will go in the exact same place. So I thought that was genius. That's another awesome thing about the Facebook group. I love that you guys share ideas like that there. So if you're on Facebook, just go Google it, go search it, and say I want to be part of the Facebook group. And then I say okay. I just have to say you can come in because we don't want people there that shouldn't be there. I have it's okay. I'm going to use it, but this stamp set that I have is one of the samples. It's one of the prototypes. It is not the production type. And I know that because this is one of the changes that we made. I think this was the only change. We made 2 changes. Look at, so if you have this stamp set or you buy this stamp set, yours is not like this. But do you see how there's that little blip in the middle of the book page? You see how there's a little blip in the center? That is something that was not noticeable in the artwork when we submitted it to the stamp company, but it was very noticeable in the samples. So I'm going to use that, but no one will notice. Okay, but I also have to say, look at how freaking awesome that stamp is. Look how fine. Look at the detail of that. That's a really good example of a difference between a photopolymer stamp and a acrylic stamp. An acrylic stamp, you would not get that level of detail. All right, so here we go. What? Oh no! Okay, see what I did? Hi. Oh, Lil, I was going too fast. So I did not. Number one, I did 2 things wrong here. Number one, I did not have my pencil board underneath, which I know better. I should. That should be here. Number 2, I went way too fast and wasn't paying attention, and I did not get an even impression. So I have like half a book. It's like the dog ate my homework. The dog ate the left side of my book. I'll fix it. I'm going to come back to it. So let me continue on. I think I have 9 things on my list. So I will continue on. Golly. Okay, so there we go. First of all, that's okay. It's okay if that happens. You can just run with it. You go, oh, well, life's not perfect. That's what happens. And you just move on. You could start over, which there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that I'm starting over. It is what it is. But there's something I can try to do if I want. Well, first of all, I could take a little piece of paper like this. I could come in and stamp my little book, and I could cut it out and put it right over that. Then you kind of would see it, but kind of not. I could create a whole new strip and put the strip right there, or I could take a block of cardstock white and put it right there. So I could fix that in a bunch of different ways. Or what I could do is take out my little handy dandy Sharpie and see if I can't fix that one. This one's going to take a little bit more fixing. You can tell a little bit, it's not perfect, but it's okay. See, I fixed it. It's a little bit skiwampus, but it's okay. But this little guy over here I fixed, so your black pen can really come in handy. That's not the stamp, that's Lael trying to go too fast. Because they all looked great over there while I was testing. Isn't that the way that it works? All right, so there we go. I have my little books stamped. And that little guy. The magic of Photoshop, I could Photoshop that and you would never know. But hi dear.
How are we doing?
We're doing fine.
Good.
How are you doing?
You on your second list yet?
Shush up. Did you hear him? Are you on? Hey honey, while you're here, will you wet my stamp chamois again? Oh, stop it. Jeez. Like it's so hard to wet a stamp chamois. Okay, I'm gonna have a quick little hydration break. So everybody hydrate. Wait, what did Pam's dad invent? Hold on, I gotta go back and read that. A hay baler that had a conveyor belt to catch and stack the bales. Oh my goodness, Pam, that's so cool. That is awesome. That is really awesome. I'm sure that made the difference, a huge difference in people's lives. Nancy, my boss, is start another project in the field. Oh my gosh. Well, Nancy, if you're still here, it was nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. All right, there we go. What I love about reading. What do I love about reading? I can, I can picture things in my mind, right? When you read, for me, when I read, I can see what the characters look like. I can see what the places look like. I can see how they're describing the hospital room. I can see how they're describing the mountain, the beach, whatever. So you can kind of picture things in your mind. I like that. I like that I can escape. Very much so. Reading for me is an escape, right? It's interesting how, especially depending on what you read, it could be a good escape or a hard escape, right? If you're reading like some historical nonfiction book, it could be a difficult escape, but it's still an escape. Or that I can travel someplace new. Right? So I could be reading a book about Egypt and feel like I've been to Egypt without actually having to leave, right? I can travel someplace new. I can learn new things. Like one of the books that I had documented in my reading Traveler's Notebook insert was Mad Honey. Mad Honey is a book that is co-written by a very famous author, Jodi Picoult, and an author named Jennifer Finney Boylan, and I am not familiar with her. But I learned a lot about bees and honey in that book. It's a fiction book, but I learned a lot about bees and honey that I probably would have never known otherwise if I hadn't read that book. That I can use my imagination. Right? So you can it kind of ties in a little bit with the picture things, but you can totally use your imagination. You get to decide how things look, how they feel. This is a big one. It gives me a break. So even if it's 15 minutes of reading, it gives me a break. And I like that. It helps me fall asleep. If I wake up in the middle of the night, 9 times out of 10, I'm done. I cannot go back to sleep. But if I grab my Kindle and turn the light down really, really low, it won't wake Nick up. And sometimes I can read for an hour or two and then I'll fall back asleep. So I like that. Sometimes it can help me fall asleep if I'm having a hard time going to sleep or getting back to sleep. It can bring people together. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Just by talking about books that you've read and sharing. But the last one, and this is just keeping it real, it's pure entertainment, right? Sometimes it's nothing else, but you want to be entertained and you're getting your entertainment. That's all, right? That is all. All right, what I need to do, I need to come back in. Let's see if we can find that color. I'm going to color those books. I am going to, if I remember which one it was here, is it this one? I believe so. I'm going to color in those little books just to give it a little bit more color over here because it's a lot of black. And as long as I gave that enough time to dry, right? I mean, it's definitely dry, but I wouldn't want to stamp it and then right away color it in because I used a pigment ink, and a pigment ink just takes a little minute or so to dry. You want to make sure it's dry before you bring in another medium, marker, or pencil, or water. Or I don't know what happens when you put water with pigment ink. I think it might blend. I don't know. But hi, Anne. Nice to see you. Okay, So I think I need one more thing here. Well, I need two more things. I need a date, but I feel like I need another word strip right there, right? Do you see how there's just kind of that blank space? I'm going to put a word strip. Oh, actually, let's look at, because what if we, instead of a word strip sticker, let's grab a word strip stamp, the highlight stamps. Let's see what could, oh, I know this one. Perfect one. It is the one that says what it's all about. That will be perfect for this, right? What it's all about. What I love about reading, what it's all about. That will just go right there and it will be lovely, lovely to finish that off. So does it fit here? It does. This is the first of what will be many word strip stamps that I release. This one is called Highlights, so it's just a pretty generic one. It's pretty generic. You have things like this happened, good days, one of those days, hanging around, the here and now. These are the days, perfectly imperfect, so far so good, the good life documented. Just some really generics. Ooh, okay. Let's just make sure that works. What it's all about. Again, super, super fine. Fine, fine, fine. And that's what a photopolymer stamp, one of the benefits of a photopolymer stamp. You can get generally, because of the manufacturing process, just a much finer detail than you can in an acrylic. What it's all about. There we go. What it's all about. And I need to date it. So what I can do here is, so we might as well take advantage of one of these little books, maybe like this little book right here. And I will say it is 4/23. Oh my gosh, I almost wrote 22. 4/23. There we go. That list is done. What I love about reading. Again, if you're not a reader, you fill in the blank. What I love about skiing, golfing, cooking, eating, binge watching things on TV, what I love about clothes, what I love about gardening, what I love about, I mean, really, what I love about a person, you know, fill in the blank. What I love about my pet or goldfish or climbing mountains, the color red, whatever. That's a super generic, that is a super generic type of list that you make work for you. Alrighty. Now, on to our third list. The third list is things I can't live without. So this is one that my friend Allison, if you are still here, this is one of the topics that was on one of those lists that you sent me. Allison sent me pages and pages of list ideas, which I love, love, love. I love it when you guys share your list ideas. So that is where this list topic came from. My friend Allison Kimball. Things I can't live without. So here, you guys, this one. Lisa said, what have we done what I love about scrapbooking crafting? Yes, Lisa, I think we've done a couple versions of that. I know we've done one, at least. I think. I'd have to go back and look at the list of lists. If I had, I somewhere have all my that I printed samples of the idea book. I'd have to scroll through them really quick and see. But I'm pretty sure we have. But I will do this just in case we haven't. I know we've done several versions of like crafty lists. So I will come in here and what I love about, I know we've done it about listing. I know we've done several about listing. What I love about, just put crafting or scrapbooking or whatever it is. Whatever we call what it is we do here. Lisa's a pony. I will put Lisa's name next to that because I always like to give people credit. The stamp set, Sani? That was the word strip highlights. So it's called Word Strips Highlights with all the little word strips. Kathy, peppermint mocha creamer, good slippers, flip-flops, laughter, internet, FaceTime with kids, pedicures, books. Okay, so here's the deal with this one, you guys. Things I can't live without. I always say you do you. If you are listing with me, you make this list how you want it to be. You could be things you can't live without. Now, let's be honest. There's actually only a few: water and food. And actually, you can live a lot longer without food than you can without water. I think I have something like 3 days you can live without water, and then you will die. You can actually live quite a bit longer without food. But I am not taking this literally like that, okay? I am not taking it literally. I'm going to have a little bit more fun with it, just like Kathy typed in the chat. Peppermint mocha creamer, good slippers, things like that. So that's how I will be approaching this list. But you know, I always say you do you. You make it work. You do it however you want it so it works for you. And I'm going to be using here's a little ASMR for you, like this. You know, when you make all the little noises. Auto sensor. No, that was in one of our lists, right? We did an abbreviations list, I think. No. Oh, no, we did. It wasn't an acronym. That was not on the acronym list. That was actually on the trends for 2022 ASMR. Let's see. Designs by Janie Marie said, have you done one on your kiddos? Like 1 week, write everything about one child, and the next week, what you love about the next child. I've done a little kind of a version of that, but probably not exactly like that. I've done nicknames that we all have. I've done a couple different versions, but that would be, I've done a what I love about Nick, but probably, let me kind of write that down. We can come from maybe some kind of how to describe or things about, what I heart about Jack and Sam, or traits, or what makes them them, or we'll figure that out. So that could be then obviously anyone in your life. It could be pets, it could be children, it could be grandkids. It's really important to me, if you are new, it's really important to me that when we do our lists, that I try as much as I can to have list topics that work for lots of different people. So that list doesn't have to be about kids, because if you don't have kids and you're like, well, that's not very fun, I don't have kids, how's that going to work for me? Then we just switch it up. All right. Jessie, I love it. A list of how the kids are different and similar. I think, now I'm having a hard time remembering. If I did that one, like how, I know I did an alike different, right? Now I'm confused in my head. Let me see. Hang on, because I'm envisioning alike and different. Like and different. Oh yeah. So this is kind of a version of that. This was, we did a list back in February. This was, I did how Nick and I, my husband and I, are how we're alike and how we're different. But that would be really fun to do with different people in your life. And it doesn't have to be you. If you have kids, how two of the kids are alike and how they're different. Or your pets, how they're alike or different. Or your friends, how they're alike or they're different. Oh, Allison. Allison said she's still here. She's reading the chat. So interesting. And listening, watching you while I hold my newest sleeping grandson. Oh my goodness. Oh, Allison, that's so wonderful. I just love that. I love that. Yes. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Oh, there we go. Jessie said, that's right where I got the idea. Okay. Our last list, our third list for the day is, things I can't live without. Oh yeah, Allison's, because here we are. We're full circle again. We are full circle again. Okay, so for this list, I am going to, let me just get some of these things put away. That's the deal. I don't know, I'm turned around, upside down, reverse, backwards, who knows. Let's get these things put away just so I can kind of think. I want these things out of my way. It's actually pretty clean. Usually at this point, it's a giant mess. It's probably because I started with nothing on the desk. All right. So I'm using Woodland Grove. I know Allison is very much a fan of Maggie Holmes, as am I. Actually, years ago, oh my gosh, Allison, years ago, Allison remembers this. There were a number of us that were scrapbooking, and we came over to my house and we did a photo shoot. And Maggie was there, and Allison was there. My friend Sandy was there. Rana Farr was there. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of fun. Long time ago though. Okay. So yes, Maggie Holmes. I love Maggie's style. So you see me use it quite a bit. Woodland Grove. What I thought would be really fun. There are some different animals in this collection. Now, animals are not on my list. I love animals, don't get me wrong, but we don't have any pets right now. So clearly, pets would not make sense to be on my list because we haven't had any pets for a couple of years. But I thought it would be fun to incorporate some of these animals. And if ever you're looking at some of the icons in a collection and you think to yourself, what in the world? Like, what in the heck am I going to do with a zebra? Or what in the heck am I going to do with a... This was the collection that I had out on the kind of flat lay thing that I do. Oh, they were all in here. That's why I put it like that. But I had to clean it all up. So let's go back to this and I'll pull out some of those little guys. So that's my thought right now. I thought I would use some of these little animals just because I think they're fun and it's different. Peacock. There's another peacock. There are these really cool. These are pieces from the papery. These are really cool little pieces. So I might use those in conjunction with the animals, just as kind of like a little background. Flowers. That's Maggie's also definitely known for like her flowers like that. I don't know. I call them cabbage roses. I don't know if those are that's really what they're called, but, all right. A cougar. Oh, no, that's a cheetah, not a cougar. That's a cheetah. I don't clearly know my cats with spots. All right. So I think I'm going to have this be, I don't think I'm going to use any pattern paper on this. I think I'm going to do this list directly on the insert. Oh, look, I'm at a half. I'm right in the middle. Directly on the insert. So let's think about title first. No pattern paper on this one. I'm going to make use of the fun kind of animals to create a lot of color and pattern. Things I can't live without. So I think what I will do, I want to have a pretty basic title. This is where when I started to pull out all of my alpha stickers before, this is where I was headed when I'm like, oh my gosh, no, wrong list. Hold please, hold please. I think I will do, where is the rest of, where's my blacks? That should all be in order. Where did they go? I'm looking for more of my type. I know, oh, here we go. They're all at the end. I like the my type. Most of the alpha stickers that I have in here are Doodlebug, and I have an assortment of Doodlebug alphas on my website. So I am going to use my type. And I think I will write out things I can't, and then I will use, maybe I'll do live without. Let's look. Whoopsie, I don't want that one. I have 4 because you can tell I like to use these quite a bit. So I pulled them all out to make sure I have enough of the letters. So let's take our ruler. There is my little metal ruler, and I'm going to line up my title on that. Let me first come in and do my outlining here. Most of the time, I am putting a base down first for my list, right? When I do about last month, I'm always writing my list directly on the insert. There are a couple of things you need to be aware of if you are writing your list directly on the insert. The first one is what happened in the past. You can't change the past, right? What happened in the past. If here I had stamped directly on the insert page, I didn't do something like this, I stamped directly on the insert page, I probably would not be able to do this list right here because there would be shadowing or ghosting on this side. So if I wanted to do a list where I'm doing it directly on the insert itself, I would probably skip a page and say, okay, I'll come back and do a different list here when I will put down a piece of pattern paper. So always check to see what happened before you start here. Also, you want to check to see what happened after. If, in this case, you had skipped a page, if I had skipped and already did something here, there was something here and now I'm coming back here, double check to see double check to see what's happening on both sides, right? If you're stamping, you want to make sure that you're not going to see the ghosting or shadowing on the page before or the page after. That's probably the easiest way to say it. Okay, so here is this. I am going to do live without in using these letters. Trying to decide if I wanted to use any uppercase. So I'm going to start out by lining these little alpha stickers up on my ruler. There is a horizontal line here at the top of the ruler. That will make sure everything is straight. Even though you might say, Lael, why are you doing that? Because you have straight lines here. Well, I can't presume that I'm going to put these on the line. What if I decide I want them down here? Okay, so I always use that for lining up straight. We also use it for something else too. I'll show you in a minute. I need my little tweezers. There's my little I, and then V. So this definitely goes faster, right? This is definitely faster than stamping, but you notice that I have 4 alpha sheets here because you run out of letters, which when you're stamping, you don't. But there's room for both. I like to do both things. Live without. Goes faster, but I also can't necessarily match the exact color that I want unless it happens to be black or match what I want. Okay, so here's live without. I should have plenty of room. Oh, let's stick with this guy. Just keep going. Line those guys up. I'll come back and add the little dots to the eyes later. Obviously, there's nowhere to add the dot to the eye. It's in the air. I can't go right there. Without. Oh, no T there. Oh, no T there. Oh my goodness. Would you look at that? So guess what we're going to do? Clearly, T is a letter I use quite a bit because all 4 of these sticker sheets, I've used all the T's. Really, we needed more T's and fewer M's. Look at that. Only 1 M used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 lowercase M's and only 4 lowercase T's, which we need more T's instead of M's. But guess what? That's what we have. Unless I want to go get another sheet, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So look what we're going to do. We're going to do a mixed case here. Okay, we'll just pop in an uppercase T. Now, if I wanted, I could try to like Frankenstein a T, a lowercase t, by using some other letters. I could try to do that if I wanted, but I'm just going to go with it. We'll just keep going. So I could like take an L, lowercase l, and cut off the serifs. So the serif is those little horizontal lines. Well, that's a vertical, but serifs are those little cappers. That is a serif. So if I did an uppercase L, lowercase l, and I wanted to make a T, I would obviously cut off the serif, and then I could probably use that little crossbar at the bottom in the middle for my T. Peggy, you could do a list with these for the zoo or my favorite animals at the zoo. Absolutely, totally could do that, Peggy. We did a favorite animals list, but it's been a long time ago. It's been a long time ago. In fact, was the first year anniversary. It was, that would have been in 2021. Oh my gosh, I need another tea.
I'm so excited.
Why? Oh,
That's your side?
okay. Nick just changed something in Harvey that he was, hang on.
And that's my side.
Oh, nice.
Now,
Okay, that's
hide
awesome.
underneath the bed. And
Yeah. And then what about the hooks are always there though?
Yeah, you can
I
hang
wish-
like a hat or something.
I wish you told me you were going to put the hooks in the wall.
They're already there.
Yeah, I wish you told me that. Sorry. No, don't mind us. Don't mind us. Go back and use a capital V. Yes.
What else?
Deborah, that's exactly
What
what I
did
will
you
do. What?
You said you needed something when I walked in.
I did?
Yes. The tea or something?
Oh, yeah, you can't help me with that.
Oh.
Nick's like, you said you needed a tea. What are you talking
Okay,
about?
I
Yeah.
wanted iced tea. I'm like, that's kind of
No,
weird.
no, dear.
You don't
I need a
drink
letter
iced
T. If you can help with a letter T. Yeah, so what Deborah just brought up, which was something I was going to go back and do. I have mixed case over here now. I really need to go back and add a mixed case over here, or it kind of looks odd. It kind of looks like it's not intentional, right? So I need to pop out. I'm going to pop out the lowercase v and pop in an uppercase V in its place, just so it looks a little bit more intentional. Alrighty. Now, again, if I'm using stamps, I wouldn't have run into any of those problems, but I'm not. All right, so I need to leave room up top for things I can't and then live without is below that. So I think this will be good about right there. That leaves me enough room there. Now, my other reason for putting on a ruler is I can move this around anywhere I want. Do I want it to be right justified? Do I want it to be left justified? Do I want it to be all the way down here? And it's maybe just the things I can't live without, and then we do over here. So that would be a totally different way of doing this, right? If I wanted to spell out the full title, I could do things I can't and then live without would be there. So that would be another kind of a fun way to do that. But I can't decide that if I'm just starting to put the letters down. Putting them on the ruler first lets me kind of move that around. The thinner the ruler, the better you have if you want to do that, because the way that you get these off is, I don't know, I'm thinking I might want to do over here, just because I think that could be a little bit of a fun change. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them over here. The way that you get them off is come in and press all of those down. And it's a little bit weird because I have some things happening underneath there. Hold on to those letters and roll your ruler out, okay? Now, a couple of those guys moved. That's okay. We'll just place them again. Just replacing those. And then I want to, they're a little bit skiwampus just because there's some things that are happening under here. It's creating a little bit of bulk, so I need to move these. I would not have had that happen if I had come up here. So just move these guys a little tad, and I'm using the reverse grip tweezers to do this. Makes it a lot easier, especially since these stickers are pretty narrow. It's a lot easier to pick them up with my tweezers than it is with my fingers. Okay, things I can't live without. Now I need to add my little dots to the eye. You definitely want to make sure and press those down because we didn't, when we rolled it out, you don't want those guys to move around a lot on you. Now, the other thing I could have done if I had thought about it earlier, up until just right now when I thought about it, I could have used all the things stamp set because there's a stamp that says things I could have done things I can't and then had live without. So I could have used that stamp. Yes, I did. I did leave enough room for things I can't because I can go like this. We'll just do it here. Things I can't live without. Like that. This guy is things I can't live without. A Sharpie pen, actually. I need to, I better not do that yet. I need to go down and get some new Sharpie pens from downstairs, because after a while that tip will start to wear down on you, which is a little bit what I had going on there. It's worn down a tad. All right, so now let's start looking at what I might want to place. I'm going to place some of the stickers before I make my list, and then I will make my list around it. I think it might be fun to grab, I had pulled out some things like these little guys. I thought it might be fun to use those as a base with some of the stickers. So what if we start here with, I have cheetah, I have zebra, I have peacock, I have a butterfly, and I have a crane. So what if I just want something smallish? Let me look for this. Let's look at this guy and see what we have. There's another version of a peacock, but I like this peacock. I love that peacock with the all spread out. Let's see if there's more. Yes, let's look. A couple more animals there. So if I wanted to use, maybe we'll use this little cheetah. Let's see if I want to use this little cheetah. This one may or may not work because it is a clear sticker. So if I put this like this and I put cheetah like this, well, guess what? It's a clear sticker. It's going down. It's down. It is there. And now we'll put that. There we go. So we just gave it a little bit of something to rest on. These little things I'm adding have absolutely nothing to do, obviously, well, for me, they don't have anything to do with the things on my list. They're just things I'm putting down. So if I wanted to do this here, all of my things I can't live without are going to be just written around in here. So I will get part of this list done today and part not done today because I will have a lot of things on my list because I have a lot of room. This little guy, let me see where we might want, what might go with him. This is where all of the pieces, there's like 200 pieces in the, So one thing that I could do to try to bring all this together, if I wanted, there's kind of a theme that's emerging. This black and white, right? So this black and white, this black and white, this black and white. What if I used those kind of things in here with all of the color? What do you think? I know some of you are like, oh my goodness, where is she going with this? What is this going to look like? If this guy, I feel like this guy might need to come down here at the bottom. And I'm now going off of my black and white, but I think I might be able to put something on here that will help. This little guy's going to go kind of bottom center. There we go. Okay. 2 animals down. We need more animals. We have a zebra. Our zebra, designs by Janie Marie said, have you done a craft room tour? I've been binging craft room tours for information so I can implement storage in my craft room. I have not. I have not done that yet. This little guy, not sure. I don't think he's going to happen there. No, and I will probably wait until it's all redone and then I'll probably do one. A really great one to look at is Christina Warner. On Instagram, she's Stars of May. And I don't know what she is on YouTube. But if you go to Instagram and look for Stars of May, then you should be able to find her her YouTube from there, I think. Alrighty. What more? Yeah. I think that little zebra might be better. Maybe we'll just put that one right there. Adding my little outlining, because you know, that has to be done on everything, or else it just looks wrong. To me. Alrighty. Now we need something right about in there, I think. And then I think I can start doing my little list. What if, where did that crane go? That crane's a little too big. This crane, I think, let's look. This crane, I generally don't like him to go that way either, though. We have a flying crane or we have a standing crane. Let's see what our standing crane looks like. It's a little bit smaller. Might work a little bit better. Let's see. You guys tell me, what can't you live without? Anne said, books, my husband, internet, my imagination, family. Ooh, imagination, that's a clever one. That is a very clever one. We'll put little crane right here. Okay. We went with the little crane in from the sticker book as opposed to the big crane from the 6x12 sticker sheet. Just a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller scale is good. Alrighty. And I didn't put a background on there, but I'm okay with that. But I also, now I remembered, liked this guy. What did I want to do with this guy? This guy come up here maybe? I think so. I'm going to have part of this bleed off of the top of the page. I'll trim that off. Now, if animals aren't your thing, you could just as easily do this with a bunch of the different, like butterflies in a collection. So you could have just butterflies all over. You could do like the flowers. You could do the different flowers all over. Do something like that. So lots of different things in this collection, or whatever you have, right? Whatever different product that you have. You can totally mix things up. And it could be product from different collections. It could be product from the same manufacturer, like you could do. It could still be Maggie Holmes product, but it could be from different collections. Or it could just be a whole bunch of your different things, right? It could just be your different flowers from different collections. We're going to do this. You are pure sunshine. Sunshine is one of the things on my list. I would like this to go down here, but I feel like I need something a little bit more to go with it. I think I need to bring in a little bit more pink because there's pink over here. So let's look for a pink piece that I could do. That's rather large, but maybe it's not bad. I probably don't want to have something that has words on it. Let's keep looking. Oh, this could work. This little books. These could go here, and then this could go here, maybe. Let's just try it. Let's just try it. We're just having fun. Sarah said her posse of friends. Scrapbook Sister, thank you. It's Christina, is K Warner Designs. K Warner Designs. Yeah, years ago. I met Christina and we both worked at Basic Gray together at the same time. That was many years ago. Many years ago. Oh my gosh, I bet that's been like 12 years ago. It's been a long time. That goes right there. Okay. And it's filling in a little bit more. It's filling in. So maybe I start my list and then see what fills in from there, right? I might decide, hey, I want a little bit more pink. So maybe we want a flower over here. Maybe we want a flower. Oh, I like that. We'll just put that flower right there. Why not? I'm bringing a little bit more color in, right? I feel like we need something right there by our little friend, the zebra. By our friend, the zebra. Oh, look at, those are a fun stack of books. If you're doing a book list and didn't have my story, that would be really fun if you have this one. Butterfly, maybe butterfly. Sure, why not? Why not? Maybe we could get a little bit more pink. See, it was looking a little bit, too monochromatic, right? I figure we needed a little bit more color. I don't really like that there. So we're just trying things and playing. I think that's probably a good start. One other thing I think I might want to add before I, actually, let's do this. We have a little bit more space here. So let's do the ellipses, like the things I can't live without, ... Now I just filled in that space. Melissa, I emailed you back this morning. Alrighty. The only other thing I might want to add right now is, let's look at pulling out some word strips. I wonder if we try Chit Chat. So Chit Chat is just, they're just like little small words. Best, sweet, boy, girl, thoughtful, today, sentimental, imagination. So I thought it might be kind of fun just to pop in words like this, and word strips like this, just throughout the, right? Throughout the place, so throughout my space. So like maybe another one there. How about because, right? Just kind of general words. Because can work, right? Because. Adventure. Right there. And then something over here. Another. Just generic. Melissa can't live without the music, the beach, the ocean. Melissa, I know you've got to get your ocean fix now when you go to California, huh? Although you can go to, okay, this is horrible to even say. Is Lake Michigan Chicago? That's horrible to say that I don't know. Is it Lake Michigan? Well, you can go to the lake that's by Chicago. How about that? The big lake that's by Chicago, maybe to get your beach fix, right? Beach fix for sure. Not ocean, but beach, right? Let's see. We have, oh, yes, laughter. Laughter is one of the things on my list. It really is. All right, so there we go. It's coming together more, right? It was for a little while there. You guys are, well, some of you are still like, wow, that's a hot mess. But I like it. It's me, and no one else has to like it but me. But it's coming together a little bit more, right? It needed a little bit of work, but we got it. We got it. Actually, we have it. We don't say we got. We say we have if we use proper English. I need something a little bit more, maybe right over here. So let's look for something small-ish. Oh, maybe this guy would be cute. Maybe this one. This little flower. Right there. Okay. Lake Michigan. Okay, there we go. Sometimes I just really don't know, and then sometimes I just keep my mouth shut because then I sound very uneducated, but I don't know that part of our country very well. Okay, here we go. So we need to have, I think I'm going to do the date now as well, because then I will be close to, I'll start my list, and I know I will have to finish my list later. So I'll get started writing the things on my list, and then I will finish it up later. And then next week when we're together, you will see how it turned out. Need this. Still April 15th. So we are good there. Oh, I have 3 Sharpies out now. That's probably, I know it is. Other than a traveler's notebook insert, my most used tool is a Sharpie pen. Oh, here we go. That's by far my most used tool. All right, we're just going to do this right here. I know I didn't test it first. Living on the edge. So somehow I have a line. I don't know why it's doing that. Well, it's because it has ink there for some reason. Well, guess what? It's got a double line there. It has a double line. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to embrace that double line. And we are going to make it look like it was intentional. There we go, right? Just work with it. All right, so the things on my list to start with, things I can't live without, in no particular order, okay? No particular order. Oh, I need one more thing. I need a bullet stamp because it's going to be really important that I separate those bullets. Or I separate the items on my list with bullets. So I could use bullets and more too, or we could go back to the OG, regular old bullets. Bullets and more OG. Same thing. Let's see. These are yellow because that entire stamp set was used with yellow. So do not be alarmed if that looks yellow. That is why. That is clean. What do I want to use? Oh, I know what I want to use. I'm not using a bullet stamp set. I am going to use a dot marker. And these are fun. The reason I'm moving over to dot markers instead of a bullet is that I think I would like to use, let's look at these colors. Something kind of soft, and this will go faster as well. All right, so dot marker has a rounded tip. It's almost like if you've ever played bingo, you know those bingo dauber things? That's one like giant rounded tip. It's basically what a dot marker is. If you play bingo and you press down on your dauber, it makes a circle. If you use a dot marker and you press down on your dot marker, it makes a circle, right? So the more pressure I apply, the less pressure I apply, I can make a really big dot, small dots. I can vary the size just by the pressure that I'm applying. So I think, let's see, do we like that color? Actually, I don't like that color with it. This set is mild smoky. So let's see, I pulled mild smoky because it's a little bit softer. Oh, maybe this is it. That greenish color. I think we should do it. Let's just do it. Okay, marker. I'm using marker. So I want to make sure that before I mark in here, just like before I stamp on this page, that I look what happened behind it. Am I going to ruin anything that I already did here by doing the marker? Because if more I press, it might bleed through or shadow or go through a little bit. So I'm okay because I have a page that is covering up the lined page. But when I get here, what that means is when I go to do this list, I am going to need to put something over that. So it'll need to be a list, something like this, because I'll be able to see a little bit of the shadowing or ghosting. I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. So there we go. That is laughter. Laughter. To me, laughter is something that I can't live without. I like to laugh. Another thing, where is my handy dandy notebook? I need to get that out because that has all the things on my list. And if you want to see what my sketch looked like, because I'm such a master sketcher, if you didn't know, look there's my sketch. So it kind of looks like what it looks like, right? That was my idea ahead of time. There's my sketch. This one didn't have a sketch. Sometimes I have sketches, sometimes I don't. All right, laughter, music. Music is another one for me. I listen to music all the time. I rarely have, like in the daytime, other than I have the Today Show in the morning, But after that, TV doesn't go on until probably 9 at night when Nick and I are decompressing. Nothing wrong with TV, but I just have music on all the time. I have learned that I can't work and try to listen to anything. I can't watch a movie. I can't even listen to a podcast because my brain can't track like that. If I'm working on something, I can't, only music. So laughter, music, sunshine. I think it would be probably very difficult for me to live in the Pacific Northwest where Jack lives, our older son. This is funny. As Nick and I were talking about it this morning, my AM coffee. So my morning coffee, and I put AM there because he said I can't live without my PM wine. Now, I don't have wine every night, and if I did, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't. But I like to have a glass of wine at night. All right, so I need to have a little bit of space here. The internet. Now again, this list for me, this is, obviously I can live without these things. Any of these things are not critical to my survival. So we're having fun with this list. Things I say I can't live without. The internet. Let's see. We have family. We have friendships. We have books. Books and reading. Now books, whether it's a Kindle or like even scrapbooks, as I said, whether it's like audiobook, books for me. I know this is probably very controversial. Don't get mad at me. Amazon. I work a lot. And Amazon a lot of times is a savior. But here's the other thing. Amazon, I buy a lot of things for my business on Amazon because if I had to drive around to 28 stores looking for 9 by 12 resealable bags, or visit 10 different websites trying to find 9 by 12 resealable bags for a kit, sometimes just Amazon is easy. So please don't hate me for that. Amazon, let's see what else I have a little space for here. Well, here's a big one. List making, right? I think I better put a list making. I absolutely cannot live without it. And I don't mean this type, but this type is fun. But I mean, I make a list. I'm very much a list, like a very plain, boring, here's my to-do list. They don't always look like this. But that's just part of my makeup. That's part of who I am. So it would be very difficult for me to live without lists. I need to put something right here. I'm just going to grab a little something from the chit chat. Oopsie, that's small talk. Look at us. I think we used, where's chit chat? Oh, it's still out. We used quite a few of those today. I'd say another one of my most used products, word strip stickers. How about this? Stuff. Stuff fits really well right there. I can't live without stuff. And I wanted to put that there just because I didn't want to start part of my list coming over here. So we just made it work. List making. Amazon. Here we go. Oh, I need another little space again here. I have a little space. What's small? Here we go. Comfy clothes. I can't live without the comfy clothes, right? We need to have comfy clothes. Tell me, guys, what's on your list? What can't you live without? Music, laughter, sunshine. I'm just marking these off because I've skipped around a little bit. Comfy clothes. Oh, yes. Caffeine. Now, that doesn't look right. Caffeine. That doesn't look right either. I don't know if I spelled that correctly. It does not look right. Diet Pepsi. Kathy, her iPhone. Designs by Jean Marie from, I don't know what that is. All right. So let's keep going. Caffeine. I will go till my short list is done, and then we'll stop. Sunsets. I love sunsets. And then I also, well, I shouldn't say sunrises because I can live without a sunrise because you got to get up early for that. Yeah, phone. I know, Sarah, it's phone, right? A lot of us, our phone does a lot of things for us. Sunsets, the ocean. I love the ocean. I love the beach. Also have outdoors. I like being outside. I like going on adventures. Outdoors, travel. My phone, that's next up on my list. In no particular order. Isn't that funny? So this is kind of interesting, you guys. This is one of those time capsule lists. I talk about time capsule lists quite a bit. If I had made this list when I was in high school, oh my goodness, how different would it be? So different. And when I was a new mom, like when Jack was first born, he was a baby. What would be on my list? Like sleep, right? There would probably be quite a few things. Diapers, be lots of things. A pacifier that would be on my list back then that would not even hitting my radar now. So this type of list is really fun because it's a time capsule. This is also a really fun list to have other people in your life do, right? Because totally different to see what I can't live without versus what Jack can't live without, or my husband Nick can't live without, or my mom can't live without, or my friend Karen can't live without. So, but also you talk about a time capsule. When I was in, let's see, when I was in high school, I would have said phone, right? Because of course I couldn't live without a phone. But back then that was a totally different type of phone than phone today, right? Because when I was in high school, I talked on the phone all the time. The one that had the really long stretchy cord that you could stretch for like a mile throughout the house and then shut your bedroom door so you could have some privacy. Yeah, Sarah said this would be a great yearly list to see what may change. Sarah said, I guess as you get older, probably less or different. You know what? Totally different. Totally different. Pam, I love it. Pam said jigsaw puzzle, something her hubby, she and her hubby do together. Cindy, curbside service. Diane, hi Diane. Tina, chapstick, post-it notes, camera, flip-flops, AirPods, travel, social media, running. Ooh, I love it. Air conditioning. Oh yeah, air conditioning was not on my original list, but air conditioning. We get hot here, conditioning. We get hot here in the summer, like hundreds, but it's dry heat, which makes a big difference. All right, so outdoors, travel, phone. This is a big one still, right? A good night's sleep. And I joked that, new parents, a good night's sleep, that's definitely an important, but even now, right? You don't get a good night's sleep, for me, it makes it rough, right? Games. I love to play games. Again, not mental games, but like games like backgammon and gin and things like that. Walking. And I don't mean just like, I can't live without being able to take a step. I mean, I can't live without going on walks. Fruit. I love fruit. I cannot live without, well, I could, but it would be very difficult. Imitrex. That is my prescription migraine medication. While we are talking that, I also have on my list my thyroid medication. That one is a little bit more, Imitrex just gets rid of the pain. Thyroid medication, you can get in trouble without that. If you have thyroid issues, that can actually, if it gets bad, it can actually, it could cause you living problems. Let's move that guy over a little bit. Sunglasses or hats with visors. Sun kills the eyes. Yes, Nancy, I agree. Sunglasses. I did not have that on my list, but sunglasses. But what I did have on my list are my glasses, like my regular glasses. I can't see without them. I cannot see close. Pam said her insulin. There you go. That is truly something Pam, you probably cannot live without, right? All right, guys, we are just about done. This is going to sound silly, but hang on, I got to figure out where to put this because it's going to kind of run into his head. This is not the silly one. Email. It would be very hard for me to function without email. Now there's going to be some silly one. Perfume. I really love perfume. There's not a day that goes by that I don't wear it. Like literally, even if I just get out of bed and put on comfy clothes because I'm working around the house all day or whatever, I put perfume on. It's just one of those things. Flossers. Flossers, the things that you floss your teeth with. Not dental floss, but flossers. I am addicted to those because I have some spaces in my teeth that means I need to use those often. All right, so next up, photos. Photos are a big part of my life. I keep doing this. I'm trying not to make this line here, but that's okay. Photos, flossers, cuticle oil. I have very dry cuticles, very dry. And yeah, cuticle oil helps them. Here's another one. This is don't make fun. Curling iron. A curling iron. And clearly, I could live without the curling iron. Yes, a curling iron. Crafting. And that is the last one that I have on my short list. So I will continue to, there you go. Oh, there's another one. Mints. I like mints. All right. So that is the end of my short list. So I have more things that I will add, but I need to add over here. Well, here's another one. Manicures or having my nails done. Now I did that, sparked a thought because Shanita said pedicures. That COVID really drove that one home for her. So, when you are having your hands in front of the camera all the time, manicures is an important thing. Or for me, it's having my nails done, but manicures are just so your nails look presentable while you're, on camera. All right, friends. So I am going to rotate the camera. Actually, I turned off the lights first. Then I will rotate the camera. And then we will say our goodbyes until next week because we are on again next week. All right, here we go. And we're going to rotate. Whoopsie. There we go. Okay. So I'll hold these up because I always forget, but there is a look at the start of that list. So you can see a little bit closer. And here is that list, what I love about reading. And here is our currently list. Okay, so those are the 3 lists that we did today. Okay, friends, so we are together. We are together here again next week. So it's on the 22nd, April 22nd, we will be here again. We're actually here again through May 13th. And then after that, we will not be together for 2 weeks because Nick and I will be out of town. I will be out of town. Prizes, there are 2 prizes today. Just a quick reminder, the way that you participate in prizes is leave a comment on the video when it's over. So not in the chat, like I see the chat over here. Leave a comment on the video when it's over. Tell me something you can't live without. Even if you say it's water or food, whatever it is, just pop in and say hi. Tell me something you can't live without. Next Saturday, right before we start, I will sort all those comments, do a random wherever my finger stops, and we'll have 2 winners. One winner will be the I Heart This stamp set that I used there. And another winner will be, also the Willie Alpha stamp set that I used for reading. All right, you guys, one more thing, the This Is Me Traveler's Notebook Project Kit starts shipping on Monday. So I know a lot of you have orders in for that. So that starts shipping on Monday. This afternoon, I will be putting the four new Simple Stories collections up on the website. They are, my order's coming on a pallet on Tuesday. So I'll put them up this afternoon. So those will start shipping on Wednesday. But I wanted to put them up ahead of time because those of you that had your pre-order in for the This Is Me Traveler's Notebook Project Kit, if you want to add to that order, so you only pay shipping once, you can shoot me an email and say, hey, will you add these things to my order? Or place a separate order, but let me know. Make sure to email me and say, hey, please ship both of these orders together. Then we'll refund the shipping when your order ships. So those will come up later today on the website. And I think that's all, guys. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. And I will see you a week from today on April 22nd. Okay, bye everybody.